Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to the DAPL offseason. We're going to do some draft analysis for all 64 teams. Basically, how this works is everybody got to pick between three of each. So, like, they had 3 months shown of two S tiers, and then 3 months shown of two A tiers, 3 months shown for one slot. They picked them on two S tiers, two A tiers, two B tiers, two C tiers, two D tiers. I don't know why that was so hard for me to explain. Uh, no Z captains this time around, but you get the Terra Cap, one C tier, and one D tier. So first up, we have Dobby's team. Dobby has some incredible mons here. Megalopony, great. Zapdos, Quaquaval, Scissor, Braylon, Low Kicks, all really just really strong physical threats. I mean, Zapdos more special side, but just really good physical threats here. And then we've got Mismag, Slurpuff for like webs, as well as some unburden stuff you can do, and Rapidash and Eldegoss. So, I mean, good like typing spread on the team outside of like 3 fighting types. I think my biggest concern for this team is there is 0 hazards at all. Yeah. So like we're getting three fighting types, but we're getting no hazards. I mean, we have good hazard removal in both spin on Quaquaval and spin on Eldegoss, as well as Defog Zapdos, Defog Scissor, but there's a lot of momentum to go around on this team as well, and it is fairly fast. I think we're gonna see teams on the slower end, just because, you know, it's random and you're not getting the, you know, the perks of being able to build your own team. But so I mean, with Lop, with Mismag, with Rapidash, Zapdos, I mean, Quaquaval speed boosting, it's pretty good fast threats. I think the only issue, yeah, like I said, is that there's no hazards, no spikes, no stealth rocks, no T spikes, and then you're getting sticky web at least. So yeah, I think if I'm gonna put this team at A tier. I think A tier is comfy for this team because it's really strong. I mean, there's like no bad mons on the team. Like we'll see some teams and it's like, yeah, this mon is not real at all. But there's no bad mons on the team. I think the only issue is that the only special attackers are Zapdos and Rapidash. There's no hazard chip. Like you get sticky webs, but Dobby says hazards are for nerds. Nice. I will put it out there that if people want to hop on and talk about their team, they're more than welcome. I mean, it's not like you'll know when your team's coming up, but you can join the waiting room on the Discord, and I'd be happy to have people hop on and talk about their team. Like I said, yeah, the only issue is that you guys aren't going to know when your teams are coming up, because this is not in any sort of order with pools. There's not, like this is just 64. This is in the order that people pick their teams, is how it's ordered. So don't think that, oh well, I'm in this group of 4, I'm in that pool. That's not how this is gonna work. I don't think Mismatch is, oh wait, yeah, Mismatch is a special attacker. That's my bad. And it's Terra, so you know, that's always good. A levitating Terra is probably the best in the biz. All right, so next up we have Julian's team, and oh my god. Okay, so we've got Greninja, Mega Dancy, Buzzwole, Hoopa Unbound, Salazzle, Mienshao, Lycanroc, Fortress, Knucklestack, and Eldegoss. We see Eldegoss again. Back-to-back Eldegoss. So we got a Regen Core. We've got, like, hella hazards. Our only removal is Rapid Spin, however. I mean, Hoopa Buzzwole, I mean, that's just... And then we got Mega Dancy. So, wow, well, this team is really strong. Triple rock is kind of funny, but you got 2 rock types that are Terra Caps, so you know you can kind of do what you with what you can. Wow, yeah. I mean, I really like Buzzwole and Hoopa together. I think they can really just dismantle a team. And then you've got a Regen Core in the back. Now, I mean, it's not like a Pex or a Tangrowth or an Amoonguss, but I mean, you're still getting 2 really strong Terra Caps, or sorry, 2 really strong Regenerator Mons. Let's see here. Yeah, people got some insane rolls. Trust me, when we get around to some teams, it's like, man. So let's see here. I think if I had to score this team, I mean, it's really strong. I mean, it has really good defensive capabilities with like Terra Knuckle Stack, and Fortress, and then a regen core. Then you've got hard hitters at Hoopa and Buzzwole. I just don't. I mean, it doesn't have good, I guess, survivability. I want to say like there's no wish on the team. So, but you have regen. So I don't know. I think this is a pretty solid team. I'm gonna slap Julian's team up here and make sure I'm grabbing the wrong Julian. Ray Julian. Putting that in A as well. I think this is a really solid team. So next up we have Benny. Benny. Yeah, that team was Julian's. So we have Benny up next. Benny has Mega Alakazam, Garchomp, Ferrothorn, Terapagos, Cleavor, Kilowattrel, Charizard, Hoopa, Dedenne, and Mischievous. I mean, this team's fast. I mean, you've got Mega Alakazam, you've got Kilowattrel, you've got Terapagos, who can Rock Polish, Rapid Spin, you've got Garchomp with Scale Shot speed, got incredible hazard potential with Ferrothorn, Terapagos, Cleavor even, Garchomp as well. Hazard removal is, you know, I mean, you have Rapid Spin on Terapagos, which is fine. I think Terapagos is one of those mons that's going to just be so good in this format, just because Terapagos can single-handedly just clear, like, have so many different roles that it can fill. Like, it can be a Rapid Spinner, it can be a setup sweeper, it can be a hazard setter. I think it's going to be one of the best mons. So let's see here. Yeah, I can't really see that there's any really flaws with the team. I mean, Dedenne's not really a real mon, and Mischievous, maybe it has potential. I mean, it's a levitating Terra Cap. I think Hoopa with Terra is going to be really good. You know, you can go Terra Fairy, you can go Terra Dark. There's a lot of different Terras that you could do with Hoopa to tank a super effective hit and then fire off a strong hit back. I think Charizard feels a little out of place here. I mean, it's a fire type, so you can't go wrong, but, you know, I don't know what... It's one of those things where it's like, you kind of have to have a fire type, but also, like, I don't know. I feel like it's the only thing that I'm like, oof. Other than Dedenne, but, you know, it is what it is. Dedenne being the only fairy type, I guess, could pose an issue because, you know, Ferrothorn's obviously weak to fire, so any dragon with fire coverage can kind of just smoke through this team. But, I mean, I think it's a really solid team. Mega Alakazam outside of Psychic Terrain might be interesting. But I guess we'll see how... I think Mega Alakazam is still going to be good, though, even with it. Because unlike most leagues, Nasty Plot is legal in Mega Alakazam, so you can invest a lot of defense, a lot of HP, and still just Nasty Plot to an incredible special attack stat. So I feel like I'm starting off like last time, but I mean, these are just such great teams. I mean, I just have to put it at A. I mean, there's like... you could argue Dobby's team's not that great with no hazards and 3 fighting types and really only a couple special attackers, but I mean, I still think it's a great team. Next up, we have Azalea or Kaz, Tapu Koko, Mega Mawile, freaking Lucha with Coco, Volcanion, Sinistra, Terra Typhlosion. I feel like we're going to see Terra Typhlosion a lot in this. And then Terra Rhydon. So... and then Dunsparce. I mean, can't forget about Dunsparce. So, Holy Ground Week. I do have to say that. We've got, you know, Electric Steel, 2 fires, and a ground, or a rock, excuse me. But we do have Sinistra, which is a pretty solid ground switch in. But yeah, Lucha Coco. I mean, Lucha Coco is just insane for randomness. Yeah, I think Lucha Coco might just make this A automatically. you could argue the triple fire and the glaring ground weakness. I mean, legit glaring, um, is bad for the team, but you know, I think I'm just gonna slap it in A because I mean, Lucha Coco is incredible. I don't think there's any other electric terrain. Yeah, no other electric terrain spammers on the team. Unless maybe you went like Terra Electric on one of these two and you abused it, but yeah, two of the ground weaknesses are Terra Caps, so you know, you can kind of get away with it like that, like Terra Grass Typhlosion or Terra I mean Terra Water Rhydon's not bad because you have Lightning Rod, so you're only weak to grass. But yeah, Sinistcha is definitely going to carry, I feel like, as far as switching in on ground moves. It definitely makes the Mon spamming ground know that Sinistcha's coming out. But, I mean, Sinistcha is a really strong defensive Mon. So, all 4 mods get A drafts. Good job, guys. Surely not rigged, right? Alright, next up we have Maxo. Now, Maxo has Tinglu, Weavile, Slowbro, Haxorus, Registeel, Skeletors, Terra Diancie, Excelgor, Terra Greedent, and Banette. So, a really slow team outside of Weavile and Excelgor. I mean, you got D-Dance potential on Haxorus. A really fat team with Tinglu, Slowbro, Skeletors, and Registeel. Because you've got, you know, you've got insane defensive potential here, but man, is it a weird team? I don't even know like how I feel about it. There's no momentum outside of Chili and U-turn on Excelgor. I mean, like we have hazard stacking potential. Weavile's an incredible Mon. And Terra Diancie we can't really sleep on, but I mean Terra Greedent is just not real. Banette, I don't know. I don't think Excelgor gets sticky webs, so yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about this team. Yeah, and only EQ resist is Excelgor. I mean, it's a fat team, I'll give it that, but I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's too defensive for its own good. Maybe if there was another regen Mon, I wouldn't hate it as much, but I mean, you literally have 2 Mons that are gonna, I guess 3. You got like 3 Mons that are gonna pressure offensively. Skeledirge if your opponent doesn't know how to handle Torch Song, I guess. I think Maxo, I'm just gonna put it at C. I feel like it's Maxo, so he can definitely optimize the team, but I'm not totally sold on it. Terra Greedent scary in one draft team on YouTube. Yeah, I remember that but I think that was low tier draft, wasn't it? I don't think Terra Greedent really has a place in the league where, you know, Gouging Fire's running around. So next up we have Metasus, who also has a Mega Alakazam and a Terra Typhlosion. Palafin Hero is absolutely insane to be getting. Tangrowth, Salamence, Iron Crown, Porygon 2, Cryogonal, Corsola, and Bouffalant. Really interesting team. You've got 3 things at 100 base speed. Typhlosion. Only Stealth Rock is on Corsola. Only Momentum is Iron Crown. I guess Flip Turn on Palafin. Defog Salamence and Rapid Spin Defog on Cryogonal. I mean, the team has heavy hitters, and I wouldn't sleep on Iron Crown at all. I think Iron Crown has insane potential with Calm Mind or, you know, AV or a lot of different sets it can run. Porygon 2 is incredible defensively. I mean, we've seen Porygon as a great defensive Mon, albeit it had Terra in our league. Yeah, I mean, it has solid threats. I just think that, you know, if you want rocks, you have to ring Corsola. and you've got Regen Core without sort of momentum. I think these two are definitely going to carry the team, so I'm going to say that this is a B tier team. I think it has really good potential with these two. Maybe like a DD Moxie Salamence can go off. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it has both. Yeah, I guess I'm curious to see about Terra Buffalant. I think it could be funny, especially with Sap Sipper, so like you can Terra Water and only be weak to electric. Or you could Terra something in with like Soundproof. Or you could just I honestly don't know what it does. Maybe we'll see something cool. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. P2 does have teleport. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's just it's a pretty good average team. Because you've got a defensive backbone, you've got strong offensive threats. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good average team. Next up, we have Maso. He's got Palafin Hero as well. Great Tusk, Enamorous, Styrin, Raikou, Uxie, Hydrapple, Type Null, Terra Typhlosion, Leavanny, and Cursula. Not going Terra Leavanny is interesting to me. I could very well see some sort of manual sun on this team, because you've got Typhlosion, you've got Leavanny, you got Great Tusk. I don't know what would get... Oh, do we not have manual? Oh, no, we do have manual sun. Yeah, Uxie, Raikou could even... Hydrapple does get Sunny Day, Cursula Sunny Day. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could, I guess, use manual sun on this team to kind of give you abuse out of, chlorophyll and flashfire and whatnot. First S tier? I'm not gonna be I don't know how many Terra Typhlosions are. I think we've seen like 4 or 5 already. Benny, you have this as the first S tier? I can see why Terra's Leavanny. It probably wants a more defensive backbone with Cursula. Yeah, I guess so. Like, you have Cursula, you've got Type Null, you've got Uxie. Yeah, why wouldn't Terra Leavanny? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the team's really strong. Like, both specially and physically. I'm like, you've got Hydrapple Typhlosion, you've got Raikou and Amorous. I guess there's no Badmon here, so like, I could see it. I just don't know if it has the S factor to me. I think the S factor, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna put this at A. Maybe I'll go through all the A's and really try to decipher an S tier, but I think it's a solid team. It just, there's glaring weaknesses to it, which I guess we're going to have these kind of issues when it's a random draft, but, I just realized it has webs on a not-so-fast team, so, like, Palafin with webs might actually be pretty good. Easily a top 5 team. It might just be. I haven't seen the other 50 some odd teams, but yeah, I think this team has incredible potential. Next up, we have Big Pharma. So we got Weavile, Tapu Lele, Aegislash, then Moltres, Articuno, Vaporeon type Null, Terracinicho, Cinccino. Wow, I can't say. Terrapincer and Crocolore. So no Terra Crocolore interests me. I think they said it was something about they don't like stall, which is interesting because why would you take Crocolore then? But I think the team started off really good. I mean, you've got Tapu Lele, you've got Aegislash, you got Weavile. This is like a really strong start. But then we fall off a little bit. Moltres is our only defog. Pincers are only hazard. Yeah, we have Wish on Vaporeon. We've got Type Null and Crocolore for defensive backbone, but Articuno can't even abuse Psychic Terrain because it's not grounded. So Pinsir seemed more fun. And Pinsir, unfortunately, is our only hazard. Uh, hmm. Yeah, I'm not really sure about this team, to be honest. There's nothing that like these three are incredible together. I think this is a great core to have. Three mons that can really just switch into each other on everything, but I think this team just kind of gets hazard stacked, and then Weavile's forced to run boots, and yeah, shit gets kind of bad. I'm gonna put this team at C tier. This was Big Pharma. I think it started off. I think it started off amazingly. Just kind of Layla counters Prio on Weavile. Oh yeah, that is true. You know, you can't Shadow Sneak Sweep. Although Weavile might not need too much priority. Like, you might not need Ice Shard when Weavile's naturally fast, but, well, you know, we'll see. Next up, we have Masoon. Masoon has Meowscarada, Megalop, Dondozo, Clodsire, Florgus, Cloyster, Kofa, Typhlosion, Asui, Phalanx, and Golemalola. I mean, holy. Dodonzo, Clodsire, Florgus. That's nasty. I don't like that at all. Unfortunately, two really fast mons, and then the rest of the team is slow as shit. Do we have a Psychic switch in? I guess Meow. Ground switch in is also Meow. Meow is like the switch in. And yeah, another Terra Typhlosion. Although this is Iron Ball Articuno to work in the Psychic terrain. Chat is cooking. Yeah, this is Terra Typhlosion Hisui, at least, I guess. I mean, this team could hate setup, but you've got two unaware mons right here. I don't know how much you really hate setup. Yeah, I mean, a really interesting team. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because it's like, does it have offensive pressure? I guess with these two, like, but like, how does this team handle a substitute outside of like triple axle on Mega Lop, or like you actually got the shell smash off with Cloyster? He had the opportunity to get 4 unaware mons. Wow. Oh, alright. He was being sarcastic. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you have Icicle Spear, you have Triple Axle, so, like, and Rock Blast, I guess, on Golem Alola, but, like, oh, just, I don't know really how I feel. I feel like I'm just gonna put it a B, and we're gonna see how the team plays out, because it has potential. It definitely has potential. But, don't know how I feel about it. Next up, we have Leonard. Oh, God, this team is good. Corviknight, Palafin, Pecharunt, Mega Venusaur, the Gooner, Florgus, Terra Hariyama, Helios, White Ups, and Terra Ferroseed. So, wow. I mean, just how do these guys get these teams? This team is fat. I mean, we've got Corviknight, Mega Venusaur, Pech, Florgus, and then Palafin just to kind of smack your shit in. I mean, outside of Palafin, yeah, I mean, I mean, Pecharunt has potential to, like, you know what I mean? Like, Pecharunt could Nasty Plot and then, like, Toxic Hex and have offensive pressure, but, I mean, it's walled by, like, a single Steel type. And now that I look at it, the team might actually just be walled by Steel types. Corviknight, I mean, Corviknight has Body Press, I guess. Palafin doesn't give a fuck what your typing is. Hariyama, I guess, could help against that, but, I mean, with Thick Fat. Yeah, Leonard doesn't really profit too much from webs. The team is naturally slow and it's defensive, but to be fair, Spite Ops isn't really a real mon to begin with. Maybe we can get a stakeout like attack and do stuff. Yeah, I mean double bulky poison with Corv is. Yeah. Oh man. I would not want to play this team. Let's just say that. I think I'm gonna put it. I want to put it in A tier because it's so. It has so much potential. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put it in A tier. Next up, we got Destroyer. Destroyer has Megazard Y, Zapdos, Rillaboom, Empoleon, Bisharp, Lycanroc Dusk, Raichu, Terra Maushold, Terra Regice, and Shiinotic. So, we've got Sun. No real Sun abuser. But we got Grassy Terrain as well. And two, Steel types that can kind of abuse it. It's a mix of, like, fast, but also all the same speed tier. I mean, it's a definitely cool-looking team, for sure. I mean, it doesn't like fighting types at all. Like, fighting. And then you've got two flying types. I think Empoleon Defog being your only defogger with Megazard Y is a little rough. You only have one chance to defog. Like, Megazard Y can't hold boots. And, like, yeah. He doesn't have a good fire switch in outside of his, doesn't have a good fire switch in outside of Lycanroc, who's not a good defensive switch in, and the Mon who is weak to boots and doesn't like to switch in. So, like, you're setting Sun to then get swept by Great Tusk. Because a speed boost Great Tusk with, rock coverage. And you lost. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this as C tier. I don't really. The team looks cool. I rate it. I mean, you got some good. You've got Maushold. I'm sleeping on Maushold. Hold up. Maushold has Tidy Up, so we do have some sort of removal outside of Empoleon Defog, but I mean, come on, guys, it's Maushold. This is Destroyer, so I'm gonna put Destroyer. I think it's C tier. I think it's quite D tier, but I mean. It definitely could have used, like, it needs something. It doesn't have, like, the it factor. Next up, we have Trix. Trix has Slowking Galar with Deoxys Speed, Empoleon Moltres, Gligar Zoroark, Terra Iron Thorns, Tentacruel, Terra Leavanny, and Komala. So, not really sure what to say about this team. I mean, we've got Slowking. We've got Deoxys Speed is great. I don't know if it's quite S tier. I don't really know how I feel about it as an S mon. Just because Deoxys Speed doesn't have Z moves like it would in You know what I mean? Like, Deoxys Speed doesn't have Z moves. Yeah, probably one of the worst S tiers available. Yeah, I think I'd have to agree. Terra Thorns might be pretty cool because, you've got more hazards on this team than all the previous ones combined. That is true. Slowking and Galar is an S-Mon. I mean, yes, it has regen and a great defensive typing. I think it's worth an S tier. I mean, this is just two. These aren't the two things that you'd want to be your S-Mons. I think you'd probably want some sort of dragon, if not Palafin, if it shows up. But yeah, I think Slowking has really good potential at S tier. I just don't know about DOS. Like, DOS is great because, you think DOS is just spikes, stealth rocks, and then die, but it can nasty plot and has a really good speed tier to spam Psycho Boost. but I feel like, it's not an S tier Mon. Like, you could get the same value out of Terapagos at A tier and being versatile. Zapdos Galar being the worst Mon? I could see that, but I think Zapdos Galar is really strong. So yeah, about this team, I think I think it's just mid. I think that's a good way to put it, and I don't mean that rudely. I just think it has Mons that all kind of do a lot of different things, and it's just going to be a matter of finding how they work together. So, I'm gonna put this in B tier. And next up, we have Sorando. Sorando has Melmetal, Zeraora, Necrozma, Suicune, Arcanine, Lycanroc Dust, Decidueye, Revavroom, Muck, and Rapidash Galar. I almost thought this was going to be all single typings as I was going down the line. I mean, this team is super funny. I think these are all, like... I've never seen a team of, like, Mons that are all on Fraud Watch. Like, Melmetal, Zeraora's, Necrozma's, Suicune. Like, these are all, like, Mons that are, like, used to be good, have potential, but, it's Gen 9 now. Are they great? I think they are two really good S-Mons. I like all these Mons, but I think they're definitely questionable, especially compared to a lot of other S-tiers that we've seen. Two Poison-type Terracaps is always interesting to me, especially with, like, opposing T-Spikes. Like, if you've got Slowking Galar setting up T-Spikes, are you going to want to Terra your Poison-type? It's questionable to me. But I think Revavroom is a really good Terracap just because of Shift Gear. Shift Gear alone makes it, you Terra Fly, and then you can Shift Gear, and then maybe Shift Gear again. And then, you click attacks. And Muck might have good defensive capabilities. I guess, like, you Terra Grass for a ground, like, absorbing the ground, or Terra Water, I guess, or Terra Fairy. And I don't really know what Rapidash Galar does, other than is a Fairy type. No knockoff switch in? Yeah, I mean, true. There is 0 knockoff switch in. But you've got Mons like Melmetal that, don't mind physical attacks. Suicune, I guess, too, but not really. But yeah, no knockoff switching is an interesting weakness policy. Yeah, it's true. Weakness policy, Necrozma. We have Sticky Hold? Yeah, we have Sticky Hold Muck, so you can Sticky Hold Terra Fairy, or Sticky Hold, yeah, Terra Fairy Muck. So it's not too bad. I like this team. I just think it's just how much value can you get out of these four. Yeah, I'm gonna put this team in B tier. I'm definitely curious about this team. But yeah, Terra Revavroom can single-handedly win some games, so, we'll see. Next up, we have Taha. Taha has Raging Bolt, Tapu Fini, Necrozma, Sylveon, Gastrodon, Basculegion, Venusaur, Claydol, Terra, Pikachu Terra, and Piloswine. So, we've got two... Interesting, because you've got two Mons that can abuse opposing, like Chlorophyll Venusaur against that team that only had Megazord Y. Swift Swim if there's a potential Palafin, or not Palafin, Pelipper, coming around. You got Raging Bolt and Tapu Fini, so like you've got your own Misty Surge. You got two really good Fairy types. We haven't seen many teams with good Fairy types. Like we've seen like, oh, my Fairy type is Rapidash. Oh, he randomized the randomizer. What? So he didn't actually pick the three teams. Wait, yeah, that's based. Terra Pikachu E-Speed. Yeah, we saw that as like a... We saw that as like a thing that people tried to do in DAPL, but it didn't really live that much. That That's so funny though. It built a great team for something that was I mean, wait. We have no speed. I just realized we have no speed. Wait, we don't have anything faster than base 100. Oh boy. It's funny because I like all the mons together, and I think, like, you know. Wait, but we have, like, no speed, actually. Manual Sun and Manual Rain. But also you can abuse other teams' Sun and Rain, because we've seen teams with Sun and Rain that can abuse it. But yeah, the fact that this is pure rando, and it worked, I mean, I'll give it credit, but, yeah, I think it's just an overall average team. I'm gonna put this a B tier. It might be C. I think it might just be C though. I'm gonna put it at C. I think all the mons are great. Just unfortunately, we're slow. So anything fast that can click a dark move, or anything fast that can deal with these two, yeah. Like you have chlorophyll, you have Swift Swim to help your speed issue, and I guess you have does Necrozma get Rock Polish or Agility, something like that, to help its speed. Maybe you'll be alright, but yeah. 90 base speed is your fastest is a little rough. But honestly, it gets GOAT points for randoing the rando. Nice. Next up we have Arda. Oh my god, Gouging Fire is the S tier. Yeah, this team's kind of goated. What the fuck? I mean, we got Ursulin and Gouging Fire, Skarm, Amoonguss, Lycanroc Dust, Talonflame, Sandaconda, Terra Medicham, Sableye, and Terra Abomasnow. There is no special attackers on this team outside of Terra Abomasnow, which is incredibly funny. But holy shit is the offense offensive. I mean, these two, great. These two, great defensively. And yeah, Last Respect is banned, yes. Pylo in the same turn as Beedrill. Arda rerolled Bundle. Wow! Rerolled Bundle? What? Wait, why? I mean, like, yeah, I'm the biggest Bundle hater too, but I mean, you didn't want the special attack? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like the team. I definitely think these four are really great, and then you can bring Sandaconda and a Terramon. I just think it's funny that you just spam Max Fizdaf against this team. Yeah, Bundle did have snow support, yes. Didn't want to miss Hydros, but you've got the defense bulk. Yeah, Gouge, Skarm, Amoonguss is a great defensive core for sure. But yeah, the only special attacker is legit Abomasnow. And even then, that's not too great. Like, Bundle, I think Bundle over Ursulina definitely would have helped this team a lot. I think that's an interesting thing to me, but I still think it's a great team. I think I'm going to put it in B, though, just because it could be A, but, I mean, no special attacker is wild. And I guess no real pivot either. Like, your only pivot is Talonflame, so it's a little rough. Call mine Sableye. And last but not least, we have DJ Borara, who has Iron Bundle, Zapdos, Zarude, Mega Gyarados, Blissey, Celebi, Quillfish Hisui, Terra Typhlosion Hisui, Terra Gumshoos, and Pinsir. So this team has 3 dark types, which is interesting. I kind of like this team though. I mean, I don't know how I feel. Like, Celebi Blissey might have been a good defensive core like 5 gens ago. Zarude is definitely fake. This mon is absolutely nothing. But Teleport Medi for momentum, sick. Yeah, Terra Typhlosion again. But yeah, I think Bundle I think Bundle kind of carries this team a little bit. I mean, 2 offensive waters is definitely interesting to me, I guess, as well. Like, you've got, uh, then yeah, 3 dark types. So, like, and then you've got fighting. This thing's not probably going to be a ghost for long, so it could also be weak to fighting. Huh. I think these 3, though, like the Gen 4 defensive core of, like, Zapdos, Blissey, Celebi. But yeah, I mean, this team is super rocks weak. There's no rock resist. And your only defog is Zapdos. Kind of hurts it a lot. And yeah, no good point, no Steel or Fairy. So you just click Outrage. And nothing comes in on rocks either. Oof. Yeah, wow. Oof. It's funny, because I kind of like the team at the start where it's like, but the more you get, like, just in cool factor, I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this team. But when you kind of look into it a little bit further, and you're like, yeah, this kind of doesn't really work together. All right, well, I think to end, this is the first 16. I think this team might just be a C tier team. I just it's kind of meh to me. I think it has good, like, momentum, and yeah, like, you have a good default user, but when your whole team requires, like, Zapdos, Zarude, Bundle, and Celebi, I guess Gumshoes technically counts, but all of these mons want to just pivot around. Even, like, Blissey gets momentum? I actually don't know. Yeah, by the way, this is just the order on how, like, DJ was the 16th person to create a team. This isn't the pool 4 of round 4. There's no pools in this. We're just going by in order that people created their teams, but yeah. Blissey does get teleport. Okay, yeah, so you have all this momentum, but you have no way to remove hazards outside of... I didn't think Blissey got Baton Pass. I'm pretty sure every time Typhlosion was drafted, yes, it was made Terracap. So, kind of funny. Alright. So, let's move on to the next one. Oh, I didn't actually. Alrighty. Only 5 Typhlosions. Alright, so next up we have the 17th team. This is Hollow815. Heatran, Tapu Fini with Holucha, Mega Venusaur, Uxie, Nidoqueen, Tangela, Terra Jolt, Terra Avalugg, and Piloswine. I mean, holy rock setters. But yeah, holy shit, this team is great. Heatran and Mega Venusaur is probably one of my favorite things to see together. These 2 mons just work so great together, and I love it. And then Fini Lucha. I'm trying to, like, think of something that would even make this team bad, but I guess it's the lack of, like... I don't even know. I mean, like, maybe the type overlapping is an issue because, you know, all your defensive mons get hit by the same super effective attack. But Terra Avalugg is such a menace because Terra Fairy, and you lose that crappy ice typing, and you actually become something defensive. Wish Passer that wasn't Jolteon, it'd be S tier. Yeah, I mean... This team is great. I really like it. Yeah, Lele, but, like, you can Terra Avalugg. Yeah. Oh, regular Avalugg does not have rocks, only Hisui. Okay, that's just a mistake of my doc then. No Ghost Resist. Yeah, no Ghost Resist, but, you know. You can You have two Terra caps, so like Avalok can Terra into Steel, and you're fine against fairies. You can, or it's psychic fairy coverage. You can. You can do some stuff with Terra to kind of minimize, like, is Spectre Air in this? Can't believe I haven't seen it once. Surely somebody would want to use it, right? I mean, Feeny and Train can handle this. I really like this team. I'm putting it at A. It's so close to S, but the random said nah. All right, next up we have VVN with Mega Dancy, Ursaluna, Sylveon, Kommo-o, Armor Rouge, Roserade, Galvantula, Terra Stack Attack, and Terra Stonejourner, and Altaria. So the only hazard removal is Terra, well, not Terra, Altaria. Galvantula with Volt Switch is our only momentum. We have Webs to help out our rather slow team. And Ursaluna in Webs, is that real? Oh, Spectre is not in. Wow. Okay, I was about to say, because Spectre would be insane in this. That's why I was shocked I didn't see it. Yeah, how'd that thing get the boot? So is Chen-Pao legal then? Probably not then, right? If we're not allowing Spectre Air. So I really like the potential of Terra Stacka. The only issue with Terra Stack is that you don't get Terra Blast. So you can't Terra Ice. You can't Terra... Like, you can't Terra anything. And Terra Blast. But, yeah, I really like this team behind Webs. I really do. Especially with Kommo-o. You don't get the Z move, but you can use the crappier version that, like, takes 33% of your HP. To get the boost. All 20-pointers, Lando I, and Spectre are banned. Okay, interesting. So no Chiyu, no Chen-Pao, no Lando I, no Spectre, and no... I forget what the other 20-pointer is. Yeah, great Trick Room potential as well, yeah. I didn't even think about that, but you got Trick Room on Mega Dance, you got Trick Room on Stacka, and you got Trick Room on Armor Rouge. I really like this team. I think I'm going to put it in... I almost want to say it's S, just to make us have an S tier mon, but like a S tier team. But I'm afraid that. Oh yeah, Dragapult. Dragapult's the last S mon that I didn't mention. No Valiant either. Valiant was 20 points. I guess so. All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna put this in A tier. It's just so I feel like it's almost impossible to get an S tier draft with it being random. But maybe we'll just have to compare teams together to get some S tiers. Yeah, Valiant probably would have been picked every time it showed up. Next up we have Total Cooper with frickin' Megalodios, nice. Great Tusk, Moltres Galar, Scissor, Virizion, Hippowdon, Terra Marowak Alola, Slurpuff, Terra Sneasel, and Wailord. So, rather slow team, but you've got web potential. You got Megalodi, who we've seen can just click Agility or click Calm Mind and pick up like 6 kills. I'm hyped to see if Wailord is real at all. As a defensive water. Yeah, I mean, really solid team here. These 4 can come every week and do something. Hippowdon with Great Tusk is sad because Great Tusk overpowers Hippowdon as a ground type, and Great Tusk kind of overpowers Virizion as a fighting type, so it's almost as if like these two mons would only come if somehow Great Tusk does not look good in the matchup, but that's just not happening. The speed is dragging it down, but you got to remember that you have webs on Slurpuff, so like if you really need the help with speed, you can toss up webs with Slurpuff. So I won't hate it on it too much for its speed issue because it has webs. Yeah, Fairy is a threat, Ice is a threat, but you got to remember these two are just never coming. So like, who gives a shit? Like your Ice switching is Wailord. or I guess Marowak, both of which probably don't take a follow-up attack, and Whaler doesn't really like freeze dry. Yeah, I mean, Virizion and Hippowdon aren't fake mons on their own right. I just feel like they're fake mons on this team. Because Hippowdon would be great if we didn't have Great Tusk, and Virizion would be great if we didn't have Great Tusk. But can anything resist flying? No. Nothing here can resist flying. I don't think Scissor's a fake mon at all. I think Scissor is a great mon. But Scissor does not resist flying. Oh, Scissor resists ice. Yeah, yes. Scissor resists ice, my bad. Yeah. I think it's just an average team. I think but I think it might be less. I don't know. Megalotti's a hard to say that this team's not A tier. Or not B tier, sorry. I think we're going to put it at B and call it a day. Just because these four can put in work, and then you can pick two and call it a day. I think it's pretty solid. Next up, we have Yebio, who actually we finally get to see Kyurem drafted. Kyurem, Megalop, Screamtail, Aegislash, Tornadus, Donphan, Jolteon, Revavroom, Knucklestack, Terra, and Misdrevious. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get not a single, what's it called? I can't even think of the thing I'm trying to say. This team does not have weather abusers. Like Tornadus could have crazy potential setting weathers and then have a weather abuser, but unfortunately did not get a weather abuser. This team absolutely hate. Wait, is Zygarde legal, by the way? Because I don't feel like any team has a way to handle 1,000 arrows. Like, I haven't seen a single team that's like, oh, 1,000 arrows doesn't look good into this team. But maybe that's just because 1,000 arrows is broken, but... Yebio doesn't have this team? Yes, he does. At least it's on the dock this way. No fire, water, grass. Yes, true. Setting sun for Kyurem Weather Ball? Kind of funny. Team looks like crap. I wouldn't say crap. I mean, you've got Kyurem standing... Like, Kyurem's right here. And Megalop is great. Screamtail has great potential, but it's just better Tornadus. Aegislash, Revavroom, not Terra. Donphan's always great, though. Donphan can do everything. Like, this mon is so slept on. Jolteon's always going to be a great Terra Cap for sure. I mean, it's speed tier alone. It's coverage. It can go Terra Ghost, spam Shadow Balls. It can go Terra Fairy, spam Alluring Voice. Kyurem needs support, which we don't have. Well, Kyurem can't deal with steals. We have Megalop and Donphan. So, Kyurem can't deal with hazard removal. Well, Kyurem doesn't really like hazards, which we have Donphan and Tornadus to remove hazards. I don't really know what other support does Kyurem need? Screamtail does get Wish, yes. It's like the main Screamtail thing. Spam Wish and Quick Protect. I don't know. I like the team. I mean, like, not having a Fire, Water, Grass is definitely a weird thing to see, as that's like a standard draft staple. How do I have teams mixed up? Whose team is this then? If this is not Yebio. Oh shit, I do have the teams mixed up. No shit. Whose team is this then? Ah, this is Noah's team. Yeah, no shit. Damn, good catch, Pickle. Alright. We're talking about a whole new team. Alright, so this is Pickle's team. Or this is Yebio's team. Alright. And holy shit, talking about Zygarde, here he is. Mega Medi, Zygarde, Rotom Wash, Samurott. I think these two mons are great together. A defensive water and then Samurott spamming spikes. Skeletor's Bisharp, Iron Thorns. Slurpuff is incredible for this team because this team needs webs badly. But Crocolore not being Terra is sad. Oof. So I don't know. I like the team because these two things are gonna just kill everything. I mean, incredible S tier mons. Yeah, Zygarde, Medi, Rotom, Gen 7, like goats. Yeah. Yeah, I really like this team. You can argue the speed is like whatever, but I'm gonna say it's a solid B tier team. Yebio. Alright, my bad. I got the whole team wrong. We're sitting here talking about Noah's team, and it was actually this is Yebio's team. Alright. Now we got G-Pickle, who has Great Tusk, Kyurem, Hatterene, Aegislash, Indeedee, Lagoon, Torkoal, Sigilyph, Gramble, and Musharna. So the team started off with like Great Tusk, Kyurem, and then said, "What? Oh, yeah, I screwed that up as well." Jeez. All right, Crocolore is Terra. Jeez, I'm trash. Crocolore's Terra, which is amazing. Great. Crocolore, Terra Goat. This thing can do a lot of stuff. Just, oh, I need a defensive fairy. Boom. I don't know if you'd ever need a defensive water with Rotom, but, Alright, we're talking about this team now. Can Indeedee be both? I believe so. I think you get both Indeedees. At least it's not specifically mentioned on the doc that... let me... Yeah, you get both male and female Indeedee. I didn't even know that there was a difference between the two. Yeah, it's just funny to me with this team. It like started off with Great Tusk Kyurem and then was like, we're gonna make Psychic Terrain. And I think Musharna and Sigilyph definitely have great potential in Psychic Terrain. I mean, even Hatterene, rather slow and no webs, no momentum outside of like Teleport or Healing Wish, I guess. I mean, you got good hazard removal on these two. I don't really know how I feel about Torkoal on this team. Terra Stitch is definitely strong as shit. This could be the worst team we've seen so far. I actually really like this team, though. It is random, yes. I mean, like... That's why, like, I haven't really been able to find an S-tier team, because, I mean, it's random. Like, you're not really going to get everything great. I mean... So even the fact that you got Psychic Surge and you got Terra Sigilyph and Terra Musharna in Psychic Terrain is pretty lucky. And Obstagoon is so important for this team because without Obstagoon, you could lose to your own Psychic spam. Put together oddly? I mean... Yes, the team, like, these two, this mon in Psychic Terrain is not incredible. Torkoal really does nothing for this team since, like... Although, if you have Trick Room, you could Trick Room and Terra... Not Terra, but you could Eruption spam. G-Pickle's fighting for his life in the chat. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad team at all. When I saw this team first get, picked out, I'm like, I think this is great. So yeah, like Trick Room, Eruption with Torkoal. You've got Torkoal does nothing when Great Tusk is right there. What? Torkoal? What? Torkoal only knows how to click Rapid Spin? Oh wait. Oh, you were saying to me. Oh wait, yeah. I completely forgot about Photosynthesis. I'm dumb. My fault. Yeah, it's slow. Yes, very slow, but. You've got Kyurem and Indeedee, you've got Rapid Spinners that could boost her in speed, you've got Trick Room potential. I think it's fine. I think I think this team's getting way too much hate. And maybe I'm not helping because I'm too blind looking at obvious fucking synergy. Trick Room is too niche and doesn't really work against good players. Yes, but you've got the best Trick Room setter in the game, Hatterene. Yes, Trick Room loses to Taunt, but you can't taunt Hatterene. And good luck killing Hatterene in one hit. I'm putting it a B. I think it's fine. I think the team is fine. Next up we have Stuffy. Ting-Lu, Melmetal, Rotom Wash, Ninetales, Sandy Shock, Snorlax, Quillfish, Savali with Terra. Interesting. Carbink, and Terra Sableye. Forgetting what Great Test does is insane. I mean, I forgot its ability. I didn't forget what it does. I know it clicks fucking. It can do everything. It can set up hazards. It can get rid of hazards. It can get rid of hazards. It can click fucking Headlong Rush. I just forgot its damn ability. My bad. I don't know. I think that I'm interested. Terra Savali. So what? You can carry the Dark Memory. Yes, you can beat every plate with Savali, yes. But I'm curious, so like you can become Dark Savali and then Terra into Fairy? This team just desperately needs a fast setup mon to abuse Veil. Yeah. I guess that's true. Terra Sableye over Terra Carbink is interesting to me. Because Carbink, you know, could go Terra Fighting and be like a fake Dancy. Sableye already has a good type in my opinion, so Terraing it is interesting. But maybe you go Terra Poison or Terra Steel and you're fine. It's I don't know, this team's just weird. It's slow, it doesn't have a good Hail Abuser or Veil Abuser. It just kind of does things. I don't know. I'm not really... Not really seeing anything that's like, you know... Boom. Like... I don't know. I'm just gonna put this team at C. I might even... This might actually be a D tier team. Just because I don't really see... Like... Look at Great Tuscan, look at this team. Like, fighting ground, fighting ground, like. Yes, every team is slow. I mean, you'll see my team. My team is absolutely slow and absolutely terrible. But we have seen fast teams. We have seen teams with, you know, webs and 3 things. We have seen a lot of fast teams. Next up we have the Inquisition with Megalop, Iron Moth, Reuniclus, Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Registeel, Breloom, Dashbun, Terra Floatzel, Golbat, and Terra Dunsparce. So a lot of pivot on this team. Registeel, Reuniclus is interesting because 2 really good defensive mons. Golbat is pretty cool. Iron Moth and Megalop are some pretty good S tiers, especially playing against teams with Coco. Yeah, exactly. And here's a fast team. After we said all teams are slow, by the way, and then we've got, you know, boom, bam, and booster energy on this thing. Yeah, I think Registeel is going to be really important to this team, just being able to sponge like everything, because no fight, like the only flying switch in, the only psychic switch in. Golbat being our only hazard removal is a little scary. Just because, you know, it can't run a Violate and it can't be a Violate and Boots. So it's a little rough. However, Terra Floatzel is great, especially if, you know, we haven't seen any sort of range setters on this in this league at all. But yeah, I mean, this team is scary offensive. Magikarp Reuniclus or even Regen, um, Poison Hill Breloom, Technician Breloom, Dashbun with Wish support. Yeah, I think this team is kind of goated. You could say glaring weaknesses with like we said, no flying, no psychic switch in. So like a lot of single-handed coverage can kind of just blow through this team. Like Mega Alakazam with a fighting move for Registeel and Tapu Lele with a fighting move for Registeel. I feel like Registeel is going to be super stressed in order to kind of handle a lot of things that want to just blow this team up. Yeah, I almost want to say this is S tier just because of how incredibly offensive it is. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it, but I'm gonna do it. It's going straight into the S tier. The next up, we have this team that we talked about already for Noah. I'm not gonna go into it too much more because we kind of already talked about this team on accident. Yeah, as we said, Kyurem with two things that get rid of steel types. Terra Jolt, which is always great. Terra Knackle, which is great. Mischievous, I guess, is like cool, but doesn't help the glaring Ghost Week because the only Ghost Switch in is Lop. But it's a rather fast team. Reverum might be fine with Shiv Gear on its own. We're looking at this team, 0 dark types. Yeah, I mean, yeah. This team doesn't have a dark type either, though. How many Mega Lob teams are? Crazy Rolls is top 10 team for sure. Yeah, I really like this team as well. I think, outside of the fact of no Fire, Water, Grass on this team, I'm going to put it at A. It might even be deserving of higher. Pokemaster 4, we've got Golden Go, Mega Alakazam, Rotom Wash, Lilligant Hisui, Noivern, Cleavor, Terra Rhyperior, Tentacruel, Terra Avalugg, and Raticate Alola. Huh. This is actually crazy that this can even be... Oh. Everyone here is good. Yeah. It's crazy how good some people's rolls were. Like, Golden Gold Mega Alakazam back-to-back. And then you get another Speedy Mon and Noivern. You get Lilligant, who can abuse Chlorophyll. It's not as good as it is in our league, because it can't use a Z move. But yeah, it does look like an actual draft. It can't use D moves like it can to abuse, like, Z move boosted Hustle. But, like, I mean, this team has, you know, it doesn't have a Fire type. It doesn't have a Fairy type. So, like, it's almost just there. Yeah, I don't know why it says that. I think it's confused with like the Pokédex ID. I honestly don't know. Avalugg does not get rocks, by the way. FYI. The only rock setters are Cleavor with Stone Axe and Rhyperior. Rerolled Kyurem. Wait, what? Oh yeah, you rerolled into Kyurem. Yeah. Really, really, really fortunate. Megazam might actually profit a lot from the format. True. That is true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. 0 dark types on a lot of these teams means that Psychic spam is going to be incredible. And, you know, the team we shat on for being slow and having 3 Psychic types looks great in all these teams without dark types. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's definitely lumping in Hisui and with Avalugg, which is why it's showing rocks. But, yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say about this team. I think it's great. I think it has, like, you know, it's missing a fire type, which could help its glaring fairy weakness. No real ghost switching, because Raticate is not real at all. But, I mean, if you need a ghost switch in, here it is. Yeah, I really like this team. I just wonder if it is S tier, despite, you know, no ghost resist. I don't know. I'll put it in A tier for now. Might have to kind of sort things out as we go. Some of these teams are like borderline S. They're just missing one or two good things, and rather, I know it's random, so like you're not gonna get everything you need, but you know, I still can't say it's an S tier draft if it's not an S tier draft, you know. Next up we have, oh boy, woo. Kartana, Ironmoth, Enamorous, Darren, Dragonite, Meloetta, Araquanid, Gourgeist with Terra, Eel, Pylo, and Double with Terra. This is by Soboku. We've got Webs with Araquanid, which helps this team out a lot because our fastest mon is Moth, or Booster Moth, and then next up is Kartana. I think Kartana's great. I just don't know if it's S tier because it doesn't have Z moves. Like, you almost need Z moves to have Kartana be that much better with, like, Breakneck Blitz or Black Hole Eclipse, like, something to really give Kartana that one kill it needs. Because the speed boosting set doesn't really work that well if you don't get a kill. Since you're severely hindering that 181 base attack you have. Other than that, I feel like the team is super weak to rocks, which means Dragonite is almost always going to feel defog, or Kartana is always going to feel defog, which isn't the best in the world. The only hazards is, again, on a D tier and Piloswine. Now, Piloswine's a great D tier, but that's your only rocker. There is no Badmon here, but you kind of only need boots. You kind of, yeah, you're kind of like full team boots. I think I'm putting this team at C tier. There it is. Alright. Next up, we have Jam. Jam has Great Tusk and Jirachi. The Lego, Mega Kang, Kingdra, Arctozolt, Charizard, Vanillux, Delibird, Bombardier. Oof. Wow, I don't like this team at all. You have Snow. You actually have Snow with Snow. I'm just so confused. I don't like Jirachi at all without Z, by the way. I don't really like Charizard and Kingdra in Snow. I don't like Mega Kang at all. I think Mega Kang is legit just terrible. Because it just gets Rocky helmeted to death. I mean, Zolt Inhale is gonna be... Yeah, Rachi just doesn't have Z moves. Rachi really needs Z moves to really be an S tier. I feel like Cart is almost the same way. Cart has to get a kill in order to boost the speed. Without Z moves, I don't think it finds a speed boost. Although, you could just run Scarf, and it probably does a lot of damage too. So maybe I'm not seeing the full potential of Cart, but... No, don't say Mega Kang is goated. Don't go there. Mega Kang is not goated. That thing... Say we got, what, knockoff on Great Tusk, and then you're hoping Bombardier or Nalego can remove rocks? Mud Slap, Natural Gift. Alright, sure. A lot of teams have ice weakness, so it's kind of scary. Yeah, that's true. I mean, actually having weather and being able to abuse it is something that we've rarely seen at all. I just feel like outside of these two, these aren't real. This isn't 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 real. We've got Great Tusk, Vanillux, and Arctozolt. That's gonna carry this whole team. And maybe Kingdra with like a sniper set with scope lens. Card is at least far more threatening to prep. Yeah, I mean Rachi, you just make sure you have a Kartana does that. Yeah, I'm aware Kartana has 181 base attack, so it can get a kill, but if you're running the speed boosting set, you're not really abusing the 181 base attack. Because you gotta run SD to actually abuse it. like, yes, you can be an attack boosting set, but when Kartana's one of your fastest mons, like, they're gonna have something faster and kill you, or priority. Like, so yes, you can Scarf and then Adamant, 181 base attack and get killed, but that's all I'll say. Yeah, Bombardier, I mean, with Terra, maybe, like, you can go Terra Rock and start spamming rock moves. Delibird, I guess it gets the ice, the ice defensive, and it just kind of does stuff. But, like, the team is incredibly weak to rocks. Like, yes, you have Rapid Spin and Defog on this. You got Defog and Rapid Spin here, but, you kind of don't want Arctizzle to have to wear boots. So, I think it's if it wasn't for Arctizolt, this team would be like D tier, but I think Arctizolt alone might just make this team I feel bad putting it in C, but I'm putting it in C. I could say the Arctizolt alone makes it B tier, but I'm putting it at C. Next up, we have Drizzle Boy with Mega Mawile, Meowscarada, Togekiss, Zoroark, Haldean Tauros, the water version, Ogerpon, Zangoose, Terra Orbital, Morpeko, and Terra Lickitung. This team's weird to me. I don't even know where to go for it. It's so much like... We got Mega Mawile, who's a great mon. You just spam, play rough, and stab. But it's the only rocks that are on the team, so if you want rocks, it's gotta be Mawile that can set up rocks, which is fine. Like, you can do rocks, SD, play rough, sucker punch, and you're fine. Meow is just really good. I mean, you got Flower Trick, Knockoff, Sucker Punch. Speed is pretty good on this team, which is, like we said, better than most, because most teams don't even have 100 base speed on their team. So, like, yeah, you can click, you can click a lot of different things with this Protean, and you got spikes, U-turn, all that. Ogerpon's interesting because it can't Terra, so, like, you get Defiant if somebody wants to defog your own hazards, but you don't really have crazy hazard potential. I don't think does Orbital get webs? Yes, a lot of Momentumons is really going to help Mawile for sure. Terra Lickitung actually sounds like something that could be pretty goated. It is webs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this might just be like a super offensive webs team then with Orbital. There's not really much of a defensive backbone to it. The team literally gets blown up by fire, ice, fighting, poison, and fairies, and flying. So you kind of just set up webs and hope Mawile and Togekiss and Meow just kind of go crazy. I'm putting it a B. I think the offensive potential of this team is pretty good, but the defensive potential is just non-existent. Next up, we have Tri-Set. So we got Weavile, Mew, Aegislash, Mega Kang, Hippowdon, Muck, Alolan, Hitmontop, Centiskorch, Heatmore, and Togedemaru. So, no water switching at all. No real fire switching outside of Heatmore and Centiskorch. No ground switching at all. Your only Rapid Spin is Hitmontop. Your only Defog is Mew. Your only hazards are Mew. And your only momentum is Mew and Togedemaru. So Mew has like 6,000 things it needs to do on this team. And it only gets 4 move slots. The team isn't incredibly weak to rocks because you can Terra Centiskorch into something that helps against rocks, and Weavile can run boots, I guess. It's not preferable, but it's fine. I almost wonder if Centiskorch just has to be Terra Water every week not to lose to any fire type on the planet. I guess, like, you have Flash Fire, so you don't even need Terra Water. You could go, like, Terra Steel and just Flash Fire, but really weird. Oh, I mean Hippo has rocks, sure. Um, and yes, helmet goes insane. I mean, because you're already gonna run. If you see Mega Kang and you don't put a helmet on one of your mons, you're kind of crazy. So, and then helmet helps against Muck, helmet helps against Hitmontop, helmet helps against Centiskorch, Weavile even. Yeah, I don't know. This team really doesn't have... Like, it has 2 dark types, which is something we rarely see. We rarely see even 1 dark type, so to see 2 is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm just putting this team in... It's not the worst, but I think it just might be D tier, actually. Unfortunately, just... There's just too much weakness going around, and there's no real resist to anything. Terra Water Toja seems to be nice for Bolt Beam immunity. Yes. As well as Flash Fire Centiskorch. Like, the Terra Caps are great on this team, because if you have a Terra Cap with these abilities that get rid of stuff, then you can... Like, Terra Steel Centiskorch, and you're only weak to fighting in ground. Although ground is not something the team can really switch in to begin with. Yeah. Unfortunately, the team just doesn't have enough resists for a team that isn't super offensive. And the team has no special attackers outside of, like, Mew and, I guess, Heatmore or Centiskorch, if these things can go special. So, like, you kind of just run a helmet against this team and you win. Next up, we have Biology Nerd. Meowscarada, Raging Bolt, Garganacl, Enamorus, Durin, Blastoise, Heracross, Terra Toadskrull, Doublade, Muck, and Terra Leavanny. Interesting team. No fire types, so like fire coverage kind of goes crazy. Ice coverage goes crazy. And fairy coverage. So Raging Bolt and Enamorus are the only 2 special attackers outside of, like, I guess Blastoise. Only 2 pivot mons are your S tiers, so, like, I guess that's fine. You've got 2 rapid spinners, which is cool. You've got rocks on Garganacl and plenty of hazards on Toadskrull. Triple grass is just weird to me. AG is special, is it on this team? Yeah, I guess AG can go special, yes. I didn't think about that. Yeah, Garg is weird to me, because, like, Garg without Terra isn't as good as it needs to be, but it's still decent, I guess. I don't know if it's, like, A tier, though. A tier for Garg seems a little overpriced. But, you know, it's a good fairy, or it's a good ghost resist. Something that this team, you know, you don't really want to switch Meowscarada in on too many attacks. And ghost coverage is kind of crazy into this team. So Garganacl being your ghost resist is pretty good. Especially because you don't have defog, so like ghost types are even better against you for spin blocking as well. Yeah, I think this team's just kind of average. Like, there's not much really... Oh, AG goes both ways? Alright. Alright, I'm putting it at B. I think it's just kind of... It's just kind of average. I think it does what it needs to do, but there's just some huge glaring weaknesses to it. But, I mean... These 4 plus 2, I mean, you're probably good. Yeah, exactly. Like, Garg is great on this team, as the Ghost Resist, yep. Because Ghost is really good into them. Next up, we have Silvered Fred's team, Mega Gallade Darkrai. I think this is the first Darkrai we've seen. Gudra, Sui, Mamoswine, Cleavor, Salazzle, Serena, and then Terra Barbarical, Terra Armaldo, and Furfrou. So triple rock, weak to rocks. Serena is pretty cool because, rapid spin and you kind of need the ground resist. I could definitely see Armaldo or Barbarical going grass as well because, again, need a rock resist. Mega Galade's kind of funny to me because, it might actually be really good in this, but we'll see. I don't know. I think Inner Focus got a buff too to be immune to Intimidate, so might be better. Like, we didn't see it much, or if at all, in the regular season. And then Darkrai with, Darkrai's Darkrai, so. Yeah, no fairy, or you have a fairy type, right? No, you don't have a fairy type, so literally Dragon is free as shit. And then, yeah, ground is pretty good outside of Serena, and fighting is good outside of Mega Galade and Salazzle. So, yeah, this team is not very defensively oriented. You have big defensive threat, like big defensive walls like Gudra, and that's it, really. But, Mamoswine's pretty good because this coverage is insane. Yeah, I think the team has issues for sure. There's no resist on this team at all. No dragon resist. No real fairy resist outside of Salazzle. No ground resist outside of Serena. No fighting resist. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's a C tier team. Because these two are gonna carry the offense. But and yeah, Mammo's gonna carry the offense. Cleavar's pretty good with sharpness. Shell Smash Barbarical might be underrated as fuck too, because you've got Para potential with Shell Smash, which is always great. Pick Darkrai and Mammo over the fairy types. The fairy types must have been shit if you picked those two, but this is one of the teams where you kind of just have to be the one in control of offense. And last but not least, we have the 32nd team, VN497. Annihilate, Darm, Galar the GOAT, Thundurus, Mega Venusaur, Nidoqueen, Mega Sharpedo, Double Mega, interesting, Mousehold, Terraturt, Gorbis, and Terra Lurantis. I think Mega Shark has potential on this team because the team's rather slow, so you can get speed boosts and then kill things. Unfortunately, Mega Shark does not do a great job at killing things, but if you can get enough chip, Mega Shark can definitely clean at the end. Annihilate is pretty cool. I don't know if it's quite S tier. Darm Galar, I love this thing. It's great. Just because, its ability Guerrilla Tactics, giving it, basically a choice band for free. And then you can slap a scarf on it, you can slap another band on it, and then you could even put boots and just still have you could be banded and have boots. So Mega Sharp is B tier, that's pretty free. Yeah, 2 megas is interesting. It's yes, you can bring both, and Shark doesn't really need the Terra, and Mega Venusaur, if it's in if you're in a Sun matchup, you might not need the Terra Mega. You might not need a Terra Venusaur. I don't think it sucks necessarily. Yes, you're having 2 mons that are item locked, but it's not the end of the world. And they're great mons. Don't get me wrong. And then for Darm, you have Great Hazard and Defog Lurantis. You've got Defog on Thundurus. You've got Rapid Spin Turt. You've got Tidy Up Mousehold. So these 4 plus 1, and they're great Terra Caps as well. Turt has Shell Smash. Lurantis has Close Combat, or Superpower, or whatever the contrary booster is for Serena or Lurantis. Sorry. So yeah, I think I really like this team. I'm putting it at. I almost want to say it's an A-tier team. All right. So on to the. We're now down to the last 32 teams left. Yeah, Leaf Storm too. True. Yes. All right. So next out of the this is the last 32 teams. The first of the last 32 is Baidu Gangsta. Iron Bundle, Enamorous, Metagross, Clodsire, Cyclozar, Blastoise, Iron Thorns, Pissimian, Terracridilia, and Drampa. So a mixture of like 3 fast mons and then everything slow as shit. I think Clodsire and Cyclozar really work well together on this team. You know, Clodsire coming in on fighting and fairy, and Cyclozar, you know, having regen just to kind of U-turn out to Clodsire. I think Drampa having 2 normal dragons is kind of funny, but Drampa against all these, you know, sun teams, these hail teams, these being able to just Cloud9 and ignore it is pretty cool. Now it's not Terra, so it might not do too well against hail teams, but you know, we'll see. Terra Iron Thorns, we see again. Terra Iron Thorns, you know, has D-Dance, so you can Terra Fly, lose the EQ weakness, and then DD up. As well as Terra Blast, you know, you can Terra Blast Ice for ground types, or Terra Blast, you know, water or whatever. Bundle is really good on this team, especially because we know how ice weak everything is in this. And then you have a great defensive water in Blastoise, so like you kind of check that box by having, you know, a strong offensive water and then a good defensive water. Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about this league is we haven't seen many fire types, right? Like the fire types have been very few and far between. We've seen Torkoal and like we've seen Drought Setters, or we've seen Typhlosion and then it's the Terracat, or Salazzle and it's not Terracat. But like, not many teams have had fire types. If that's like a interesting thing to pick up on. I think defensively this team might have some issues. Obviously, the glaring ground weakness, the glaring fire fairy weakness. But I think it's an average team. I kind of like it, but I'm putting it in a B. Next up, we have Aaron. Aaron has Clef, Megazard X. Holy shit. Thundurus, Slowbro, Diggersby, Tinkaton, Druddigon, Terra, Electivire, Furret, and Terra Phalanx. I mean, great S tier picks. Holy shit. Clef and Megazard X. I love it. Tinkaton. I don't know why we would go Tinkaton when we have Clef. I mean, Tinkaton's just not a real mon. Terra Druddigon's pretty cool to me. I think it has potential, especially with like hazards or like rough skin. Even Mold Breaker to ignore like Unaware. Yeah, starting to feel like Sinnoh with how few fires we've seen. Oh yeah, there was an Arcanine, yeah. Yeah, Defog is Thundurus and Defog is Megazard X, so like, you know, this might be a case where you just kind of lead Megazard X to at least get the Terra in. But I think Megazard X is a great mon. I mean, unfortunately it's just gouged without the option to run boots, but I mean, Tough Claw's boosted Flare Blitz is such a strong attack. Like, not even things like Clef can switch in on that. Yeah. This team, I mean, it almost looks like it's not random, just with like how well the team works well. Tidy Up Furret, yeah, I guess Tidy Up Furret is a thing. It's not Terra, unfortunately, but it is a thing. I think Terra Phalanx is cool, though. I've been using Phalanx a lot in Fusion Draft, and I really like its potential, especially with, like, you know, no retreat, and then I'm pretty sure if you Terra Ghost, you're allowed to switch out. Maybe? I know if you are a Ghost type, you can switch out on no retreat, but I don't know how Terra works with no retreat. So yeah, I mean, good Terra caps. You've got Electivire, which I guess is cool, but he just helps with the ground weakness. Because it's not like anything really, like, you're kind of fine on electric as it is. You had an electric type in Thunderous, but I don't know. I'm putting this team in A. I think these two alone are going to carry, especially with Slowbro and then like Momentum Mons, Inferret, and Thunderous. Like you defog and then you Volt Switch your U-turn and get in Megazard. I feel like it can do a lot of shit. Alright, and then we go on to my team. God, this team is so bad. Garchomp, Darm Galar, Mega Guardy, Scissor, Incineroar, Nidoqueen, Spiritomb, Terra Lantern, Terra Bayonet, and Armaldo. Why I didn't Terra Armaldo, I'll never know. Because my rock... I'm just rock weak, I'm ghost weak. I have no ground or water switching because I don't have a fucking grass type. I legit... I don't know. I really don't like this team. Like, these four are so good, in my opinion. And, like, I have Nidoqueen for Poison type. I had a choice between Nidoqueen and Muckalola, and I guess I should have took Muck, but I really didn't want a third Dark type. Lantern doesn't really need a Terra. I mean, I have potentials with it. Kind of suffers from the two most commonly seen slow and weak removal. Yeah, exactly. Like, Defog Scissor every week is going to be oof. I mean, my issue was Spiritomb doesn't really need the Terra. Like, the typing alone is great. My idea behind Terra Lantern, I guess, is to help my ground weakness. Because, you know, I don't have a grass type. So, ground and water just looks free. Yeah. It's a D tier team. I'm not even gonna pretend. It's just a shit team. Slow. Like, yeah, these three are gonna get kills, but yeah, no. I don't know. Unlucky, I guess. Next up, we have Anathema, Baxcalibur, Fraud, Meowscarada, Thunderous, Empoleon, Mega Aggron, Salazzle, Terra Chestnut, Kabutops, Ice-Q, and Terra Ferret. Interesting team. Very interesting team. Like, fighting coverage is just free as hell into this team. The only resist to fighting is what? Salazzle and Thunderous? Like, how is Great Tusk just that damn good into every team right now? Like, there's nobody you can switch into. It's not D, it doesn't look that bad. I say see it worse. Nah, it's fucking... There's no way this team is not D tier. I mean, I can't even switch into a ground move or a water move. C at worst. I mean, I guess because of my offensive potential, it could be C, but... Yeah, no, it's shit. Fuck this team, dude. We are not making it out of pools with this one. Yeah, I mean, I really like this team in the sense that, you know... Now, do I like this team? I don't think I do, actually. Terra Chestnut is, like, really good, actually, because, you know, it has a mid-ass typing, so, like, being able to Terra and become something that can be fine. Does Thundy get Hail? Great question. I imagine it would, because most of them do, but let's see. No. Your Hail setters are Empoleon, Kabutops, and Ice-Q. Although maybe it gets Snowscape? Bax gets Snowscape. So, Bax, Thunderous, and Kabutops and Empoleon. Or no, Bax, Empoleon, Kabutops, so your Snow setters, or Hail setters. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The team probably would be better with snow for sure, but ah, I just feel like it's too fighting weak, and then you're tearing your only ground resist, which you're also hella ground weak to. Like, I guess Meowscarada is a ground resist, but you know, booster, booster, you know, Great Tusk just eats this team alive, especially with Torkoal, or even just a booster energy. Yeah, I'm gonna say this team's probably. I don't know. It doesn't really just. I'm not really scared of this team. Like, Bax is real, I guess. Cool. I just don't know what it does. Like, I'm just struggling to find like a positive thing about the team because, like, yeah, if it doesn't have bad things has hazard removals covered with these three, and you have hazards on pretty much everything, things that we haven't seen, and you've got pivot on everything. It just feels like there's no defensive backbone on this team. Because Mega Aggron gets blown up, Chestnut can get blown up, and then, you know. Yeah, I guess it's like I wouldn't put this team in D tier. I don't think it's worth D tier, but like outside of these three things for defense is just kind of, and as you see, they're all really weak to the same shit. Next up, we have Nexus. Ogerpon H. Interesting. It's the first time we've seen that. Mega Mawile, Celesteela, Buzzwole, Iron Jugulus, Gastrodon, Terraswello, Rotom Frost, Girder, and Terra Lightning Rock. Midnight. So 3 Defoggers, no Rapid Spinners. Surprisingly not ground weak. It's like the first team we've seen that doesn't have a glaring ground weakness. We've got 3 flying types and a levitator. There's plenty of momentum to get in Mega Mawile too, as well as Ogerpon just to kind of click fire coverage. This might be the Buzzwole makes this whole team trash tier. Why? What's the Buzzwole hate for? What'd Buzzwole do? Buzzwole's usually hard to slot into a team because Buzzwole usually turns the whole type chart into shit. But I think Buzzwole fits fine here. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't get the Buzzwole hate. I think it's fine. You can run an AV on it. You can run leftovers. You can run bulk upset, resto chesto. I mean, it has. I think it's solid. I think it's a solid mon. Yeah, Buzzgoated. Terra Swallow is pretty cool because it gets Terra Boom Burst, I guess, with and Scrappy, so like you're always hitting ghost types too, so you can Terra Normal Boom Burst, or Guts boosted Facades with Terra Normal. Lycanroc Midnight. Interested to see how this thing works with Terra or what it's supposed to do. There's another weird team where Buzz is cool in this format. Yeah, I like that it. Yeah, I've always tried to draft Buzzwole, but as soon as you slot it in on a team, it like just ruins everything. It's like, yeah, has too many weaknesses. But in this, I feel like the teams I've seen Buzzwole on don't really have too many glaring weaknesses that it wouldn't already have without Buzzwole. Yeah, Terra Swallow is insane. Especially as its fastest mon. Like, yeah, its attack stats are pretty shit, but, you know, we're talking about base 140 special attack, or base 140 boom burst, and, you know, facade, strong ass moves. Like, I'm just trying to look at it though. Like, Rotom Frost, Iron Jug, Celesteela, and Swallow are really the only special attackers, and they're not the worst special attackers, but, you know, the team is very physical heavy, which is fine, I guess. I think it's an average team. I'm going to say it's B tier for sure. Next up, we have JT13. Weavile, Arch, Scizor, Iron Boulder, Mienshao, Swampert, Delphox, Miltank, Volbeat, and Luxray. I mean, this seems fast as shit. We got Regen, we've got a good defensive water and Swampert. We got Terra Delphox, which I think is really strong. Scizor is like the only real defogger. Like, you're not bringing Volbeat. I don't think ever. So like, Scizor's gonna be defogging pretty much every week. You got solid hazards in Swampert, Miltank, and Arch, but Terra Rhythm would be a better Terra Cap, I guess. Yeah, exactly. In our format, you can get Slither or Heracross that can do the same job for cheaper than Buzzwole. Unfortunately, Buzzwole is just too overpriced. Volbeat's a gold defogger with Prankster? Yeah, but are you ever gonna, like, think that Volbeat with Prankster is gonna do a better job than Scizor? Like, if I had to pick between the two, I'm slotting Scizor into my team every day of the week. Yeah, I mean, the team... Ooh, wait, yeah, I kind of like that, though. You Rain Dance Volbeat, and then you turn out into Arch, and then you start spamming Electro Shot. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I kind of like this team. I mean, it's not like, you know... I like the team before we talked about Volbeat anyway, but... I mean, these 6 plus the Terra Cap... I mean, like, you just have really good mons. Like, nothing bad here. You're pretty fast. And special attackers are only really these two, and I guess Luxray maybe, but I don't know why you'd go special on Luxray, so... I don't know, I'll probably put this team in A tier. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. This team's going in S. Like, outside of... I don't know, these teams are so hard to make S. But, like, this is a really solid team. It's almost borderline S. Just missing the few things that you kind of can't control because, you know, it's random. Next up, we have a Cash. The Cash has Mega Lopunny, Tornadus, Therian, Magnezone, Rotom Wash, Alomomola, Skeletor, Chinchino, Weezingala, Perugly, and Glaceon. Terra. So, no Stealth Rocks, no Spikes. But plenty of removal in Tidy Up Chinchino, and then Defog on Torn, Defog on Rotom, Defog on Weezingala. Like, yes, we have T-Spikes on Weezingala, and we've got fake Kyurem and Terra Glaceon. But, I mean, the team's super defensive. I mean, like, Torn, Aloe, Regen Core, then you've got another Bulky Water, and Magnezone to trap Steals. Yes, Metasus, we went over your team already, yes. Yeah, most teams are ground weak, so, like... We've seen this team's not ground weak, and this team wasn't ground weak either. But yes, most teams are heavily weak to ground. Just because there's not a lot of grass types to go around. No grass type on this team either, but we've got Levitate, Flying, and Levitate. Yeah. I don't know. This team just a stall. Double regen plus unaware, and then you've got Mega Lop to punch holes. And then maybe like Glaceon to punch holes specially. And then you've got Wish support from Aloe. Yeah, I mean, this team is just... I don't know. I think this team is actually might be better than what I'm thinking of. Maybe just because it's stall, I'm like, eh. Stall and draft is like whatever, but... It might work out really well, actually. I'm gonna put this team in A tier. Fuck it, this is S. I mean, there's no way you get regen, and unaware and fucking random. As well as Lop and Glaceon as, like, your... Yeah. And then, like, Magnapole, and you can just nuke a Steel type instantly. This team is incredibly scary, yeah. Next up, we have K-Pizzle, Golden Go, Megalop, Tangrowth, Moltres, Iron Crown, Mienshao, Terra Diancie, Tentacruel, Terra Aggron, Behem. So, yay, we have Moltres and actually have a better hazard removal than having Moltres come out all the damn time to defog. Because if Moltres gets knocked off, then makes defog even harder. Tank growth for regen. So we have a regen core again. All these guys getting regen cores is honestly insane. Do we have Wish? We don't have Wish, though. This team is a Wish support away from just being insane as well. Wow. Stall can be hard to deal with when we have random teams, exactly. But I think Stall's easier to prep for if you know it's coming, because, like, you know, sub and taunt and, you know, not being like shit like Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. Like, yeah, this team is actually really great as well. I mean, like, it's a Wish support away from being S tier. If this team had Wish support, I think it's S for sure. It's just missing Wish support because it's so ground weak. Although, like, the two ground weak mons in Diancie and Mega Aggron can Terra into flying types, or Terra into fighting types, or Terra into grass types. Something that's, like, not ground weak. But it's legit a Wish spot away from being S tier. So close. Because, like, these two switching out all the time, these two punching holes, and then, like, you get hazards up with Diancie, hazards up, and then block defogs with Golden Go, like... Damn, I almost want to put it to S even without Wish support. I think because of Golden Go, it might just go into S. I think... Yeah, it's like a firm A because there's no Wish support, but I almost want to make it S because Golden Go on a regen core is... Yeah, fuck. It's such a hard one. If it had Wish, I think it's S for sure. Because, like, this team is just that, but better, because it has Wish. Now, this team doesn't have hazards. This team is hazard stack. So, like, you know, you don't have... Like, this team you're going to have to run boots against to not get hazard stacked, because you're really not going to defog against gold. This team, you can freely run leftovers or any other sort of defensive thing to kind of... And, like, your steel type wouldn't have to run boots because instead of a shed shell, so... Interesting. Two different ways to look at it. And now, this team, holy shit. Gouging Fire, Golden Go, Gudra Azui, Togekiss, Iron Jug, Starmie, Type Null, Terra Hariyama, Terry Zebstrika, and Golem Alola. A lot of things that just share types. It's like Ghost into Ghost, Dragon into Dragon, Flying into Flying, Electric into Electric. Again, it's a team that unfortunately only has its D tier for hazards. So, like, and it's not even Terra. I almost wonder if you would have made it Terra, that it would have been better, just because... If this thing's Terra, it can come a lot more and set up rocks for you. But now that it's not Terra, it's stuck in its, like, mid-ass typing. And, like, when you're already ground weak, like... It's almost harder to bring it in. I think it's a great team, though. Like, Togekiss and Gudra are going to carry this team defensively, even Gold. And Gouge can kind of hit things hard, as well as Iron Jug. I think, like, these five are going to be great +1. The only issue is that these fives don't have hazards, and they all kind of get hit by the same fucking attacks. Like, this thing gets hit by rock, these three get hit by ground. So... I don't know. The team was like, maybe if this is Terra Cap, it looks better. Maybe if it had somebody in this category that could set up hazards, it'd be better. But I think I'm going to slap it in probably B tier. Next up, we have Heartbeat Fire with Garchomp, Jirachi, Thundurus, Venusaur, Dunsparce, Gardevoir, Terra Toad Scroll, Terragorbus, and Crocolore. Crocolore, again, not being Terra, is so interesting to me. There's no Dark type on this team, So knockoff is pretty much free as shit, and everything. There's no resist to dark knockoff either. There's only one ghost resist, and that's the Dunsparce. So cool. It's fairly fast, I guess, but like not incredibly fast. Like you got 3 things above 100, and then 2 things at 100, and then 80, and then that's it. So like the speed tiers are kind of stacked on top of each other. Garchomp's always going to be a great S tier. I think it's easily one of the better S tiers, just because of its Rock Spike's potential, as well as, you know, it's a good mon with dragon coverage and ground coverage. Jirachi, not so much. Like, yeah, Serene Grace was cool, maybe like when we didn't have Covert Cloak. But I just don't know if it really does much here other than like switch in on ice type attacks. Terragorbis is interesting. Like, we haven't seen any rain setters outside of manual rain, so like I think Thunderous gets rain. Yeah, like almost everything on this team gets rain. So like you could Thunderous sets up rain, and then you get in Terragorbis, and what does Gorbis even do? I guess clicks like Hydro Pump in the rain. Regular Vino is A tier. Without Sun, it may be the worst Amon. Yeah, I think it's because of Sun, it's so damn high. Because, I mean, growth, chlorophyll, 80 base speed, like, you're getting insane potential out of Venusaur. But yeah, without Z Celebrate, and without, you know, Sun, it is actually pretty mid. Like, I'm pretty sure, because it's in the same tier as Mega Venusaur. Is this just... Wait, I'm actually going to double check this. Heartbeat Fire. Yeah, no, it's regular Venusaur. Yeah, so regular Venusaur is in the same tier as Mega Venusaur. Unless it is Mega Venusaur. Oh no, what? Wait, Benny, are you in the chat? Because, Benny, you have Heartbeat Fire having regular Venusaur at A tier, but regular Venusaur is C tier. I know it's getting late for him, so he's probably not around. But yeah, mods might want to fix that. Yeah, Mega Venu is A and regular Venusaur is C. But yeah, on the actual dock, it's okay. So yeah, this should be Mega Venusaur, I guess. I don't know why on the dock it's not Mega Venusaur, but I guess Mega Venusaur is the knockoff switch in now. Yeah, that was weird. Yeah, for some reason on... Hopefully that's fixed before, you know, the league actually starts. I'll DM that to Benny. He's not in the chat. Okay, yes. This makes the team a lot better, because now you have a knockoff switch in, and you're not as fire weak. Because you have Thick Fat on Mega Venu. Yeah, this team's way better now. Alright, yeah, I think outside of the Ghost and Dark weaknesses, this team is easily one of the better teams. I'm putting this team at A. Alright, next we have Dialpo? Dialpo? I completely fucked that. Ogerpon and Golden Go, which we've seen in the DA CD with Maxo, Alakazam, regular, so like Magic Guard kind of set. Keldeo at A is wild, considering it's an 11-point mon in regular. Nidoqueen, Cryogonal, Beware, Dustox, and Rapidash. So our physical attackers are Beware, Ogerpon, and that's it. So real no physical attackers. We got Rocks only on Nidoqueen, Spikes only on Ogerpon. We don't have a fire type, so our fire type switch-ins are Keldeo or a Cryogonal with Terra. Our flying switch-ins are Golden Go. Our ghost switch-ins are Beware. The team is fast as fuck. I'll give it that. 124 Ribombee, 120 Alakazam, 110. Like, everything's fast as shit. But everything hits special. We have got webs too. But we got no ghost switch-in, no fire switch-in. Really interesting team. I'm gonna say B tier probably. I think this is really good, but you don't really have much to pair with it. Like, do these four need webs? Probably not. Ogerpon might enjoy webs, so you don't have to run Trailblaze. Alakazam doesn't really need webs. Keldeo might enjoy webs, but not really. And Golden Go doesn't really give a shit. And I don't even know what you'd pair with these four. Like, I don't know what Rapidash Galar does. Cryogonal is too defensive for these four. Nidoqueen, I guess, would enjoy webs, so you just run these 6 all week. Beware's good for like a ghost switch in, but that's about it. Alright, on to the next one. We got Salazar. Salazar is Cinderace, Greninja, Mega Gardy, Iron Hands, Flygon, Cleavor, Terra Vileplume, Terra Jumpluff, Mega Glalie, and Rotom. So a super fast team again, but we do have 3 Mons at base 100. Really good physical attackers: Iron Hands, Cinderace, Flygon, Cleavor, Mega Glalie, and then good special attackers in Gardevoir, Mega Glalie, and Greninja. Vileplume as well. We got 2 Chlorophyll grass types, so we could see like Manual Sun Cinderace, and then you turn out into our Chlorophyll grass types, or just abuse opposing Sun. We've seen Torkoal a couple times, as well as Mega Charizard Y. I think Mega Gardy is really good in this, just because a lot of teams are super fairy weak. Although Mega Gardy can't run a Choice Scarf, it could run like a speed boosting, I think it gets agility, maybe. So you could run like agility and then just Moonblast the shit out of some teams. Mega Gardy is the only dragon switch in, because we don't have a steel, so could be a little rough if this dragon type, if the dragon learns Poison Jab or Iron Head. Like, this team does not enjoy a Mega Charizard X at all. It kind of can just blow up Gardy with Flare Blitz and then click Dragon on everything else. The team is pretty rock weak as well, but it does have 3 defoggers, and Flygon, who's a great defogger. Fortunately, it can't Terra. Vileplume, or not Vileplume, Rotom and Cleavor, who can defog. Cleavor doesn't really want to defog, and Rotom, I don't really see if you're really going to bring it that much. Yeah, I think again, this is a team where like D6 can kind of just carry, and then you drop one for like a Terra Cap if you need it. Mega Glalie definitely has its advantages. Cinderace and Greninja together, yeah. Like, you got Perdian and Libero. The good thing is that they do different things. Like, you have hazard removal in Cinderace as well with Court Change. Like, if it was Meow plus Gren, then it'd be like, oof, like, you got 2 mons that are literally the same. But yeah, I think this is just a B tier team. I think it has great things about it, but it doesn't have shit like, you know, synergy. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Alright, so next up we have Targeted Blitz. Greninja, Lando, Ferrothorn, Necrozma. I mean, it's literally just a Gen 7 team right here if this is Ashgren. Then we got Drigazolt, Porygon 2, Terra Swallow, Mega Glalie, Terra Lurantis, and Piloswine. We see a lot of the same shit. Like, we've seen a Terra Swallow, we've seen Terra Lurantis, we've seen Mega Glalie. Dracozolt without Sand is interesting, but I mean, if you want to run Hustle and then click Volbeak, by all means, it's a good Volt Absorber, I guess, too, if you want to run it that way. Um, Team is super ice weak. Like, it does not enjoy any sort of ice move or any like freeze dry as well, like to hit Greninja. So like Iron Bundle just kind of has his way with this team. Again, we don't see a fire type, so fire is really good. Um, no fairy, so dragon's also pretty good against the team because Ferris Thorn's the only switch in. Yeah, I mean, this team has offensive potential. I think it's very offensive. Like, you're just going to set up hazards with these two and then try to win with, like, Necrozma weakness policy or Scarf Dragozolt or Terra Swallow, Terra Lurantis. But, I mean, the team can easily get its shit pushed in by Booster Tusk or, you know, just Mamoswine, like, anything, really. This team has a lot of weaknesses. I think I'm going to put this team at B tier. I think it has, again, this is one of the teams that has offensive potential, but no defensive potential. Next up, we have Black Flames. Holy shit. Roaring Moon, Heatran, Gyarados, Iron Boulder, Woach, Gardevoir, Machamp, Terra Heliolisk, Carbink, and Terra Honchkrow. So, Terra Heliolisk is interesting because Dry Skin can completely wall rain teams, as well as Solar Power can abuse Sun teams. Team is heavily ground weak. Outside of, like, I mean, Woach is a great switch into ground. And Honchkrow, I guess, and Gyarados, I guess. Only hazards are Heatran and the Carbink. And our only Defog, again, is on a D tier. We're, like, semi-fast, semi-slow. Like, we got 3 months above 100, and everything else is 81 or below. Really good specialty defensive. Like, we got Boulder, who's Spadef. Roaring Moon has a pretty good Spadef stat. Gyarados, pretty good Spadef. Gardevoir, Heatran. Yeah, I mean, like, again, this is a team kind of carried by, like, the first half of the team. Like, you kind of get, Moon and Heatran as well. Like, you got 2 Booster Mons. So, like, Roaring Moon and Boulder, they can kind of just punch holes through teams. As well as, good defensive backbone in Heatran plus Woach. I guess Carbink too, but I wish Carbink would have been the Terra, but I guess it makes sense for Honchkrow to be, since you're kind of rock weak. But you don't want to really Terra outside of the... because then you get even more weak to ground. I'm probably going to put this team... yeah, I think it's B tier. It's almost C tier just because of the bad hazard removal, but, I mean, the offense and just straight up, you know, Woach can run boots, Heatran could run boots if Spike's stacking is too much for the team. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine in B tier for sure. So next up we have Chaos. Landorus, Theron, Great, Kartana, Gengar, Rotom Heat, Regidrago, Aloe, Terra Rhyperior, Maushold, Terra Mabalstiff, and Togedemaru. So, very Gen 7 vibes again. We got Landorus, Cart, Gengar, with then like a Rotom form, and then Aloe. Yeah, we got Defog here, Defog here, Defog here, Hazards here, and Hazards here. I really like Gengar. I think Gengar's worse without Z moves, and of course it doesn't have Levitate like it used to, so like Ground is so good into this team. But it's surprisingly not one of the like teams that is just weak to like everything. Like, it's actually really good synergy wise. Iron Boulder appeared back to back. I should have grabbed Rilla the first time instead of Chen. I think if we're looking back on this team, I think Rillaboom. Yeah, because Rillaboom plus Heatran is insane. I mean, Woach works, giving you more defense, but yeah, I think Rillaboom would have been kind of crazy, especially because you don't have a ground type. So, like, it's not like Rillaboom would have hurt anybody. But you kind of already have good physical attackers already in these three, so did you really need another physical attacker? Probably not, but you could have used the momentum, I guess, because your only momentum is really these couple. I think Woach has a good, you know,
a good defensive dark type as well. I think it works fine. But back to this team, I think this team's great. I almost want to say it's S tier, except for the glaring weaknesses, of course. But I mean, like the synergy is just off the charts with this team. Everybody works so well together in this. These four work so well together, and then you add Allo for wish support, and like one of these shitters, Terracap something, and call it a day. I think it's easily an A tier team. So close to S tier though. And last but not least, we got the 48th team, Layton. Poku Megalop, so super fast mons off the jump. Ogerpon C, Metagross, Crawdaunt, Hydrapple, Marowak-a-Lola, Terra-Aldino, Terraphalanx, and Mischievous. So, just trying to think, because Coco, Megalop are great fast mons. But it's so physically offensive, and Coco's the only hazard removal. So Coco's the only hazard removal. Our best special attacker is Hydrapple, which isn't the worst, because it gets things like Fickle Beam, and I'm pretty sure it has good coverage as well. And you can never go wrong with regen. Crawdaunt is really freaking good on this team, just because adaptability knockoffs is, something that a lot of teams don't have switch-ins to, as we've seen. I think Hydrapple is also going to be extremely important for a ground switch-in. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else about this team. I mean, we've seen Terraphalanx before. We've seen Terra Aldino is interesting for like becoming a fairy type, and then you're basically mega, but you still have regen. Oh, I forgot it had regen, so I mean you're getting double regen core on this team as well. Yeah, I think this team's probably A tier for sure. I mean, the only glaring weakness is that Coco's the only defogger, and you have no special attackers really. But other than that, I think it's a great team. All right, so we are moving on to the last 16 teams of the draft, or last 16 teams of the offseason. All right, so first up we have Gemsy with Lando T, Urshifu Rapid, Suicune, Thundurus T, Roserade, Darm, not Mega Arrow, Terra Arrow, Rotom Frost, Kricketune, and Terra Ferroseed. Very interesting team. Very, very, very interesting. Web's potential with Kricketune, which really helps the rather slow team. Really good pivot everywhere. I mean, we got pivot, 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 pivot. So, I mean, plenty of pivot, plenty of defog, and defog. As well as Terra potential on this rock weak mon. Because, like, yes, there's a lot of rock weakness for rock, and rock. But, you can Terra this. You can run boots on Darm. Not preferably, but you can. No glaring weaknesses, really good special attackers. Like in these three, good physical attackers in these three, good physical attacker here, good hazards here. Has everything you really want in a team. Just rather slow. Yeah, I'd say it's an A tier team for sure. Definitely one of the better A tier teams. So next up we have Delayed D. This is Mew, Melmetal, Thundurus Styrian, Arcanine Hisui, Swampert, Heracross, Inteleon, Terra, Venusaur, Terra, Probopass, and Piloswine. So a team that has Mew, but actually has other people with utility roles, with Defog here, Rocks here, Rocks there, Rocks here, Rocks there. So like Mew can finally do other things other than just clicking Defog and Rocks and stupid shit. So you got U-turn, Volt Switch here, U-turn, Volt Switch here, and then Volt Switch here, as well as U-turn there, or Flip Turn. Heracross is pretty interesting to me. Fortunately, it's 1 tier too high for Terra, but you can kind of, still click Moxie boosted or Guts boosted attack, or yeah, you can Moxie sweep or click Guts boosted attacks. It's not crazy, you're not crazy ground weak, especially because you can Terra Probopass or Terra Venusaur into like a pure grass type or a flying type. This is ground weak, this is ground weak, but Swampert does have flip turn, true, yes. So, yeah, I mean, this is just another solid A tier team. Everything that you could kind of want on a team, you have. Hazards, removal, pivot. The only thing the team's missing is Wish support, but it's not really a team that really relies too much on Wish. Not having a Dark type or not having a Ghost Resist sucks on this team as well, but they're not things that are really going to make or break, especially because, it's random. Next up, we have PBS's team. PBS, I mean, this shit is just stupid. Garchomp, Heatran, Samurott Asui, Mega Venusaur, Robot, Florges, Terra Stack Attack, Ninetales for Drought, Mabalstiff, and Terra Chimecho. Having Sun plus Mega Venusaur, just so lucky. The only pivot on this team is Crobat and Samurott, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it could be better. Crobat is so important for this team for speed tiering. So you got good hazards in Spikes here, Rocks here, Ceaseless Edge here, Rocks here. They Terra Stack Attack we've talked about before. Really strong. You can go Terra Fight Body Press, you can set up your own Trick Room. Terra Chimico is pretty interesting too because you can like Terra Poison with Cosmic Power, you can Terra Electric and click Terra Blast. It has a lot of potential just because, any mon with Levitate and Terra, or any mon with like a resisting move, or like an immunity ability with Terra, just has so much potential. I think this is easily one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams. Definitely a top 5 team, in my opinion. I'm putting this team in S tier. Just for these 4 alone. Like, yes, pivoting is pretty bad on this team, but I mean, it's not going to make or break this team, especially with Wish support from Florges, just beefing up these fat mons. Like, next up, we have Soltec. Soltec has Ogerpon W, Victini, Terrapagos, Cloudsire, Slitherwing, Blastoise, Terra Alcremie, Serena, Rapidash Galar, and Terra Cloth. So, interesting team. No real ghost switching outside of Terrapagos. So a little unfortunate. A lot of pivot. We got Ogerpon pivot, Victini pivot, Slitherwing pivot, Serena pivot. A team that's not too incredibly weak to ground because we've got Ogerpon, we've got Slitherwing, and we've got Serena. I think Slitherwing can definitely fill a defensive role here with like Will-O-Wisp and just you turning around. Trying to think. I mean, you get like regen with Cloth, and Terra Alcremie can be kind of insane. It's basically Terra Comfy, except it doesn't have Draining Kiss priority. I mean, good hazard removal, good hazards. No real Wish support, which I guess is unfortunate, but I mean, you got 2 great S tiers. One of the better A tiers, in my opinion. Cloudsire's great. No bad mons here. A lot of people have been picking Rapidash Galar, and I don't know if they're just picking it because it's a fairy type, or if it actually has, like, a set. Or maybe it's the speed tier. I genuinely don't know what this thing is ever going to do. But I'm curious to see what it will do. So Soltec, you get an A tier, my friend. Just play well with Terapagos and don't get swept by a ghost type. Oh, wait, Sneasler's legal? Why is this the first Sneasler we've seen? Sneasler, Great Tusk, Slowbro, Thunderous Theron, Registeel Gardevoir, Licky Licky, Terra Serena, Terra Repardus, Toucannon. Wait, what the fuck? Why have we not seen Sneasler more? Worst two S tiers? I don't think Victini's too terrible as an S tier. I mean, it's definitely not the best, and Ogerpon W is definitely a great S tier. I mean, it can single-handedly just win games by clicking SD, Encore, Ivy Cudgel, Trailblaze, or Hornleech, or... It's really good. Don't sleep on it. This team has probably the best two damn S tiers because nobody has fighting switch-ins. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Sneasler was fucking legal, but yeah, Sneasler and Palafin are definitely the best S tiers. But holy shit, dude. I mean, like, this team doesn't have any weakness. Like, there's a little bit of ice weakness, I guess, with, like, these two, and freeze dry on this, and ice on this, but this thing isn't even real. Like, you're never bringing Toucannon. Really good momentum all around. I think the only issue with it is that it's really slow. Like, I'm trying to think about what you could even do to fix the speed issue. I guess you can run Booster Great Tusk, who still hits like 450 speed. Sneasler can obviously unburden. Gardevoir is a good choice Scarfer. So, I mean, this team's really, really, really good, actually. Really, no one wanted Palafin. Wow. That's shocking to me. My S tier picks weren't even that crazy. That's why I kind of ended up with Garchomp, and I had a better pick than Darm Galar, but you know, I've always wanted to draft it. Palafin's wild though. I would easily take it. So this team is another A tier team for sure. It's almost S tier, but it just needs... If it had something to control speed, I think it's easily an S tier team. Next up, we have Dimster, and oh my god, it has Sneasler again? This team is far worse, though, in my opinion, but... Sneasler, yay, Sneasler. Sneasler, Gliscor, Mega Alt, Toxapex, Braviary Sui, Ribombee, Decidueye, Mousehold, Terra Mousehold, Terra Swampert, and Ariados. So this team has webs. So that's amazing for, you know, a rather slow team. Braviary behind webs is probably really insane. We've got 5 defoggers, right? Gliscor, Mega Alt, Braviary, Decidueye, and Ribombee. No rapid spinners. The only hazards are Gliscor, so Gliscor might be locked into hazards every week. This team has no flying switch in. This team has no ghost switch in other than Mousehold. It's pretty weak to rocks, but we have a lot of defoggers. And the only ice switch in is Toxapex or Samurott, both of which they get blown up by freeze dry because we don't have a steel type. So I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I guess this team is fine. Like, weak to psychic, weak to psychic, weak to psychic. We got 3 poison types, all weak to psychic, and no dark type. So psychic coverage kind of just slaps this team up. I think this team really just wins by unburdening Sneasler, or like, yeah, literally just unburden Sneasler at +2 and hope you don't have a switch in, because this team's whole defense here with these 3 all just die to ice moves, especially freeze drive is all on Toxapex. Like, Kirim just has a field day with this team. Like, yes. Oh, wait, we have webs on Ribombee, so wait, why do we have Ariados? I feel like we could have got something better. I didn't even see Ribombee here. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I mean, this team probably B tier. It's almost A just because of Sneasler, but there's too many weaknesses. Far too many weaknesses. Next up, we have the Hitmain. Iron Treads, Weavile, Togekiss, Mega Venu, Mienshao, Gastro, Terra Duraludon, Exploud, Morpeko, and Terra Lunatone. So, interesting. First time we've seen Treads drafted, I think. Treads is a S tier. Little unfortunate. I feel like it'd be better at A, but I mean, it's still a great mon for sure. And we've seen this drafted a lot, really good. And Togekiss and Venusaur work really well with Iron Treads and Weavile. So like these four, really great synergy together. The rest of the team gets pretty interesting. Like yeah, these three are weak to fighting, but you can easily Terra Duraludon into something that handles that. Also handles a ground weakness as well. Yeah, I think this team is really good. I mean, you have Wish on Togekiss. You've got Venusaur, who's fat as shit. You've got Regen Mienshao, who's always great. You know, you can Life Orb, click a couple attacks, and then switch out and heal all of that back. You've got Rapid Spin on Treads, Defog on Kiss, which, you know, is completely fine. You've got plenty of hazards with Gastro. I really like this team. Like, yes, it has weaknesses, but like, you just bring these four, and then these five actually. You bring these 5 plus 1, like Gastro, or Terra Duraludon, or Terra even Lunatone might even be a real thing as well. Yeah, in A, it's easily like the best mon, but in S, it's definitely overshadowed by Tusk. But it's damn good. I really like this team. I might just make this team S just because I like it. But it might be too obvious on what's coming every week just because like these things aren't real. But damn, it's a really good team. I think I'm going to put it in A. I could easily put this thing in S though. I think I'm going to. Have fun at S. Alright, next up, Canary Kill. Megalop, Melmetal, Nilego, Slowbro, Goon, Toxtricity, Vikavolt, Mudsdale, Wigglytuff, and Corsola. So, no Ghost type to block Spin. We have no way to remove our own hazards. We only have 2 things faster than 100 base speed. We're hella weak to ground outside of Vikavolt, who's not Terra, unfortunately. Terra Mudsdale is whack to me. I don't know. I guess you Terra fighting with like stamina and click body press. Like, I don't know. I feel like Mudsdale is not the thing that should be Terra'd here. I don't like Nilego plus Toxtricity either. I feel like they both are 2 peas in the same pod. Like, they do the same shit. And they don't really fit together. Corsola with Regen and Terra is like, yeah, you have Regen, 2 Regen mons, but team hits hard, but that's about it. We're talking about this team? I guess, like, yeah, like we have this hits hard specially, this hits hard specially, this can click EQ, and these 2 hit hard as shit. But I really don't like this team at all. Fortunately, putting this team in D tier. I mean, like, it's hard to say it's D tier with these 2 on a team. But there's no removal. Like, yeah, we have Regen, which is always amazing. Because, like, you can Terra Corsola into, like, a Fairy type. Because we need a better Fairy type than this shitter. But we're so slow, man. We're legit, like, crawling. Like, everything is less... We only have 4 mons higher than base 45. That's so bad. And we have no removal at all. Oof. All right, we're down to the last 8 mons, or last 8 teams. So let's see, we got Raging Bolt, Enamorus, Serp, Haxorus, Vaporeon, Snorlax, Fortress, Barbaracle, Gramble, and Pachirisu. This is by Julian26. So, no grounded poison. So, Toxic Spikes are kind of free under this team. Only 2 months faster than 97 base speed. Only Defogger is Serp. Only Rapid Spinner is Fortress. No real Fairy Switch-In that isn't Fortress. No real Ground Switch-In that isn't Superior. Or I guess Enamorus counts. No Rock Resist at all. I mean, Terra Barbaracle is really good. Serp, these 3 are really good special attackers. I'd much rather have Terra Fairy Corsola switch in on our Dragon move than Wigglytuff. I mean, I guess Wigglytuff has Wish, but I don't know. Yeah, like really good special attackers here. Vaporeon's good for like Wish support and being a good water type. Barbaracle's great because, you know, Shell Smash with Terra. Can't go wrong with that. Gramble, Terra with Intimidate. We've seen Terra Gramble on like the ladder do stuff with like, you know, Terra Fire, Temper Flare kind of thing. I mean, decent pivots on this team, but it's all Volt Switch. This team also doesn't have a ground, so Volt Switch is pretty free into this team as well. Also, the first 4 mons on this team hate Ice Beam, and Vaporeon hates Freeze Dry. Barbaracle hates Freeze Dry. And again, it's another mon, like, Ice coverage, you need Fortress to come in. Fairy coverage, you need Fortress to come in. Everything kind of relies on Fortress not getting clicked by HP Fire or any sort of Fire type move, so I'm probably putting this team at C tier. Next up, we have Fantasy Knight 75 with Megalotti, Us, Great Tusk. I think easily got the 2 best S tiers. Ferrothorn Togekiss, really good A tiers. Muckalola, Melodic, Chansey, Terra Ambipom, Terra Pyroar, and Pachirisu. So these 4 are great. I think these 4 work really well together as well. Muckalola's great because we have Pursuit. Melodic, really good Fat Water. And, you know, can flip turn around. I don't like the triple normal that just came out of nowhere. Like, yes, these 2 can Terra into something else, but these 3 could have probably been better mons, in my opinion. I don't really know what Patchy's doing here. I guess you get Volt Absorb, so like it's a fake ground type, and then you get to click Volt Switch of your own. I guess Nuzzle to be annoying too, but like, I don't know. The team started off really strong with these 6. These 4 easily, I think, could have been better mons. I'd love to have seen what they would have been. I mean, I guess Terra Pyroar is cool. Pretty good stats, but shit abilities. They're random. I know. I mean, yes, it's random. Though everything's random, but like when you got all this really good, like I just don't know if like you saw 3 normal types and were like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like I'm genuinely curious what the other options were because I think there's other things that this team could have needed, like, you know, a steel type that isn't weak to fire, or, you know. But I think it's a fine team. I'm putting it at a B tier. I think it's fine, but unfortunately, these 4 are very lackluster. Outside of like Terra Gimmick and Nuzzle and Chansey being Chansey, but we'll see. I think the team here is really good. Next up, we have Hero with Ursaluna, Heatran, Azelf, Slowking, Mega Pidgeot, Rotom-Mow, Terra Slurpuff, Grafaiai, Terra Altaria, and Wishiwashi. Let me actually do this. There we go. So hazard setters are Heatran, Azelf. Defoggers are Rotomo, Mega Pidgeot, and Terra Altaria. Plenty of pivot with Mega Pidgeot, Grafaiai, Wishiwashi, and Rotom. And Azelf too, I guess. I kind of wish that maybe Altaria wasn't the Terra. Because Wishiwashi with Terra is pretty strong. I mean, the team really has no electric switch-in outside of these two. Which I guess is fine. But they're kind of obvious switch-ins. Yeah, I think this team is great. Like, it doesn't really have anything that like blows you away in terms of like, oh boy, but the Bolt Beam weakness is kind of scary. Like weak to ice, and then everything else is kind of weak to electric. So that's like the one thing that's kind of scary. Rock weakness, no dark type, so dark can kind of run through the team unless you bring Slurpuff. So like Weavile would have fun with this team. Ice move, protective pads for this thing. Like ice move, knock off, ice move, yeah. But I mean the team's rather fast. Azelf, Pidgeot, Rotom, Grafaiai. And you get webs on Slurpuff. You've got 2 on Burden Monster speed as well. Again, it's another triple normal team, which is kind of funny. And decent. Like, you can never go wrong with Rotomo as like any sort of Rotom form for defog. Yeah, I'm probably saying this is a solid B tier team. Next up, we have Wool with Baxcalibur, Slowking Galar, Rotom Wash, Amoonguss, the Regen Core, Mega Heracross, Iron Jugulus, Aromatisse, Terra Jolteon, Simisear, and Terra Piloswine. Interesting. So, Rock Setter again, only on our D tier. Spike's only on Mega Heracross. Defog is only on Rotom. Baxcalibur just doesn't really feel like it works here. Baxcalibur cannot deal with steel types at all. Unfortunately, Mega Heracross can beat steels, Simisear can beat steels, and Piloswine can beat steels, but I mean, bringing your D tiers being the things that can handle steels for Baxcalibur. Although, I will say, Baxcalibur plus Slowking is incredible synergy to get. Especially because, you get Chilly Reception into Baxcalibur, you get the defense boost. And you can probably get a DD up for free. I mean, you can't get burnt because you got Thermal Exchange. In theory, you could run Ice Body, I guess, inside the snow. The Regen Core is interesting. I mean, like, they're both poison types, but they don't both get hit by the same moves because Slowking can get hit by Psychic and Amoonguss can get hit by Earthquake super effectively. Team is super Rocks weak though, and the only defogger is Rotom Wash, so you get rid of Rotom and Rocks kind of just chip away the whole team. No steel types, so Dragon. Bax can Earthquake, yes, but I mean that's like saying Kyurem can click Earth Power. Like, it's not something that you want them to do. And then it's a levitating steel like Bronzong, or it just gets bad. Like Bax with Earthquake is just not. It's just not good. Preferably, you just want Bax to be able to click his stabs and not have to bother with Earthquake. But yeah, I mean, this team is fine. Other than Bax plus Slowking alone makes this team B tier. I feel like what I almost wanted to put at C tier is because the utility options on this team just don't exist. Like, outside of like Terra, like the only U-turner is Iron Jug. The only Volt Switcher is Rotom and Jolteon. The only Rock Setter is one Mon. The only Spike Setter is one Mon. So like everything is kind of just one Mon is that one role, and you don't really have versatility on this team. So, B tier. Next up, we have Martin Tran Tapu Koko plus Gliscor with Glamora. So Gliscor and Glamora doing the same thing but on the same team is interesting, but it does let Gliscor become more of a Facade or Earthquake or like SD sort of set rather than Glamora, rather than being like a spike setter like Glamora. Um, Quaquaval is really good behind Glamora just because you can really Moxie Steamroll if a whole team's got Poison Chip or even Spikes stacking Hazard Chip. Um, Cyclosar is pretty cool because it's regen, rapid spin for the team. Quaquaval also is rapid spin. Coco's also defog, and Gliscor's defog. Entei, I don't really know how I feel about Entei, but you know, cool. Umbreon, really good wish passer for the team. Terra Caps, Iron Thorns, really good because Terra Fly, DD. You can run booster energy to get another attack boost that way. Terra Stunfisk is interesting to me. I don't really know what Stunfisk does. Because, it's a rock setter, but, we have Gliscor, we have Glamora. So I'm curious what it would really Terra into. And then Thwackey for grassy terrain is really interesting for the team. It hinders Gliscor, and it, overwrites the terrain of Tapu Koko, but interesting. I guess you kind of need a grass type because Thwackey is really the only switch into ground other than Gliscor. Once Gliscor goes down, ground coverage is literally free as hell. A lot of U-turn, a lot of volt switch, a lot of hazards, a lot of defog and rapid spin potential. Pretty fast team overall. The only issue is that the only special attacker is Glamora and Tapu Koko. And I guess Entei if you really want to swing that way. But other than that, that's really it. The team obviously has glaring weaknesses in ice, fighting, and ground. But could definitely see if this is more of a hyper-offensive team with, Quaquaval just spamming Aqua Step and Entei spamming Sacred Fire. DD Iron Thorns, Swords Dance Gliscor, even a Power Gem or a Meteor Beam Glamora set too. I think it's just an average team. I'm gonna go ahead and put it a B. Yeah, I'll put it a B. It has a lot of potential for sure. Next up, we have Just In Case D. Mega Charizard X, Gliscor, Rillaboom. Oh my god, that's so good. And then Slowbro on top of that. Basculegion F, Cloyster Ditto, Terria Mega Terra Parasect, and Sneasel. So really good first four mons for sure. First four mons great. Basculegion's interesting. It is that offensive water to your defensive water, which is always cool. But you have Cloyster for offensive water as well, so it's I don't know how I feel about it. Ditto, I guess, helps you out a little bit. Just to, prevent setup sweeping against you. But the issue is that the team is so damn rocks weak. Yes, you can Terra these into, steel types, I guess. Yeah, that's my first thought, exactly. Team's train wreck after the first four. Because these four are great, and then you go into Rock Week, into Rock Week, into Rock Week. Yes, these are Terra Caps, but Terra Parasect probably doesn't do anything of use. Say no fairy type on the team, so Dragon just literally shits on you. Fairy shits on you because no steel type. Rock shits on you because no steel type. Fairy shits on you because no steel type. But at least these four are good, right? I don't know how I feel about weakening own EQs. Yeah. I mean, the thing is that Zardex doesn't typically run EQ. You have Flare Blitz for steel types, and you have Flare Blitz for everything. Everything dies to Flare Blitz, so Zardex actually benefits from the terrain because you're healing and you're getting might be Sneasel Hisui? The doc says regular Sneasel. Sneasel is C tier. Yo, Benny's fired, dude. Justin which Sneasel do you have, Justin? It's regular? Okay. Belly Drum Zardax. Ooh. Shiesty. Regular in the dock is C tier. Huh. Yeah, no shit. Weird. Regular in the dock is C tier, but huh. Yeah, right. These mods, man. Come on, Dobby. So it's not regular Sneasel, or it's Sneasel Hisui then. Did Dobby roll me the wrong tier for that slot? Maybe. I don't know how that would have worked though in the program, because if you clicked on the D tier to reroll, it wouldn't have gave you a C tier. I don't know. I'll send it to Benny. Maybe he'll, because it's not the first one that's been a little weird. Must be a mix them in the program, I guess. Because yeah, it's not like it's supposed to be Sneasel Hisui. I don't know. Maybe you'll get a reroll. Maybe you'll get a ground type. Or no, you have a ground type. I don't know what the hell this thing could be that would even help you. The team is just bad after these four. Welcome to C tier, Justin. Yeah, Hisui Sneasel is in D tier, yes. So if if that's just wants to be the fix, then the question would be if he would have wanted to pick Sneasel Hisui. You know what I mean? Like after you deserve D. No, I don't think in any world Megazard plus Rillaboom is D tier. Although this is the same issue my team had. Like, my team had really strong offensive 4 and then sucked ass. So, like, I put myself... You know what? Yeah. That's fair. I did the same thing to my team, so, I'll do it to this team, because top 4 Mon's really good, and then everything else is shit, so I put my team in D. So, I'll do the same thing here. I think that's a fair assessment. Next up, we have the Lord, the Legend... the best draft player in history, King Bob, Manaphy, Tinglu, Gengar, Terapagos, Mega Heracross, Cobalion, Terragudra. We got Terragudra? Brambleglass, Flareon, and Terraphalanx. Bro, these mods are tripping. There's no Terragudra. Terragudra's not legal. Yo, you guys are fired. Terragudra is not C tier. Oh my god, what are you guys doing? I knew that wasn't right. I was like, no way in hell are we legalizing fucking Gudra.
I'll say I passed it. I'm sending all these to Benny, by the way. It's good that we're catching all this shit, but I knew as soon as I saw this shit, this is not legal. What the fuck? Someone failed the drug test. Oh wow, according to Benny, Gudra is C tier. He said the program's right and that Justin does have regular Sneasel. Sneasel should have been D tier. Wow, so yeah, according to Benny, that Terra fucking Gudra is legal. Which means we literally go Terra Water Gudra and you're only weak to electric. Holy shit. Yeah, Terra Gudra is absolutely insane. Yeah, he said the program's right, the doc tier list is wrong. So there might be a lot more issues with the doc tier list. Yeah, well, I mean, this was an S tier draft already. This is fucking King Bob, dude. Come on. But in actuality, I mean, yeah, Mega Chomp, Mega Titar, Mega Slowro are not draftable. Yeah, Sneasel is fine as a D tier. Yes, it should have been D tier. No, Venu was wrong. Venu is not A tier. It was Mega Venusaur. Yeah, no. Mega. It was the Venusaur thing was wrong. It was supposed to be Mega. All right, so actually to talk about this team, Manaphy as an S tier, interesting. Take Heart set. You can't run Z Raydance, so like, Take Heart's about the best thing you can do. Acid Armor, Stored Power, Scald, all that fun stuff. Thinglu, Spikes, cool. Gengar, no Levitate, so it's kind of like, No Z move either, but it's the fastest mon on the team, so it might help. Terapagos, one of the only rapid spinners on this team, one of the only hazard setters on this team, but Tinglu might just be pure hazard. So I could imagine it's going to be Calm Mind, Rapid Spin, 2 attacks every week. Manaphy is also the only U-turner, Cobalion's the only Volt Switcher, Flareon's the only Whispasher, and it's not even like good at it. There's no flying switching on this team. We got 3 fighting types. No real fairy switching, no good dragon switching, no real ground switching either. Like Bramblegrass, I guess, can be a ground switching, but I don't know. I mean, Terra Gudra might just be goated, but I don't see this team more than a B tier. And last but not least, we have the last team of the draft. Oh my god, this team is actually really good. Mew, Golden Goat, Terapagos, Buzzwole, Melodic, Incineroar, Tatsugiri, Terra Whimsicott, Terra Aurorus, and Boltund. Unfortunately, it's Terra Aurorus, and we don't have any Snow Abusers. But Terra Aurorus can help the ground weakness. Boltund is cool because it's the fastest mon on the team. Mew and Terapagos are incredible together because they both do a lot of the same shit, but they can steal some of it from each other. So like Mew doesn't want to run rocks, Terapagos can run rocks. If Mew doesn't want to run defog, Terapagos could run rapid spin. Um, you know, sharing a lot of the four moves syndrome that these two have between the two. Golden Go's cool for stopping defog, so like you can set up spikes with or with Mew and stop them with Golden Go. Buzzwole is perfect on this team because you need a ground switch in, and this is going to come in on grounds, and Golden Go plus Buzzwole work really well together. I can imagine Buzzwole is going to be really strong on this team. We've got good pivot in Incineroar, Whimsicott, Boltund, Mew, Melodic with Flip Turn, Tatsugiri with Flip Turn. I really like this team. I think this team's an easy S for me. Not S. Easy A for me. So yeah, this is the tier list at the end. Obviously, I wasn't as harsh on some things that I guess I could have been. And nor was I really looking at everything. Like, comparatively, these teams are probably not, like... I probably give some teams A tier. Like, Dobby's team, I gave A tier despite not having any hazards. But I gave other teams B tiers for not having any hazards. And I think just the team quality itself is why that is the case. I'm sure there's things you can nitpick on this list, but I think after going through all of them and talking about them, I think this is probably... I'm probably comfy keeping everything as it is. Like, I mean, we have the top teams where we look at a cache with the, really strong regen core. We've got the hit main with, just fucking hitters all over the place. We've got PBS with really strong mons, Sun potential, Trick Room potential, yeah. Exactly, yeah. All the mods got A tiers. That way I get better luck next year for the next random draft by putting all the mods at A tier. Alright. So I think it's gonna wrap it up for me. 3 hours of nonstop yapping is a little rough. I guess because there was no interviews this time, we didn't really take 5 hours like we did last time, so pretty good. Got through 64 teams in 3 hours, not bad. Can actually do something with the rest of my Saturday. But this was really fun. I'm excited to see how this goes. Now, if people aren't familiar with the format, it's basically it'll be groups of 4, so 16 groups of 4. Groups of 4, everybody will get into a pool. They'll play all 3 other teams in their pool once. Top 2 teams from each pool will go on to the tournament. Yeah, sure, no problem, guys. This was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully Benny and I will cover the tournament phase. We might not go over the pools too much. Maybe I'll make content for my own, but we'll see. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, smash the like button, subscribe, because I do a lot of content for DAPL, so we can be there, catch the next stream for DACD championships, as well as the tournament for the RDO when that rolls around. So yeah, that's going to be it for me, guys. Have a good rest of your day, evening, whatever time zone you may be in. Take care, and peace.